Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. On a Tuesday, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass. For us, it's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you. And we are back. You know, as I was hanging out this weekend watching NFL, college football, NBA, everything in between, Temple got a huge W. I think it was against Memphis, ranked 18th. Shout out to the Owls. It got me thinking about the golden ages of sports or throughout the year, right? Everybody talks about the fall when it's the World Series and NHL is going on and the NBA is getting going and there's football. Like, can we not sleep on this time either? There's a lot going on. And on top of the fact that, in my opinion, college football, I think they finally figured it out. There's one thing that I would change with college football, and J.J. Watt kind of had it nailed as well. This Monday national championship thing, they got to figure out a way to fix it. And I understand with college, with the NFL and the playoffs going on, you can't do it on a weekend. But these kids and everyone, I saw a lot of talk about, this game has no juice. The championship game has never had juice because it's on a random Monday. It's never had juice.
But you know what's interesting? I was talking about this yesterday. Since the Tua Tagovailoa comes in at halftime and leads Alabama to a comeback, all of these championship games have been blowouts.
That's also true. But last night, at least, gave us, if you hung on long enough, I thought it was decent. I don't think it was bad. Did you ever feel like Notre Dame was going to figure it out? Probably not.
They gave up 31 consecutive points. I mean, we're really grasping at straws here.
So, I think that as far as everything that's going on with the college aspect and college football, there are areas where it could be better, but I really do appreciate what we saw and shout out, Ohio State. I have some jokes about LeBron James and wearing the Ohio State gear because people are going back and forth on fair or foul when it comes to rooting for a college that you didn't attend. We'll have some fun with that. The conference championships are all set for the NFL. You have Josh Allen besting Lamar Jackson. Do you feel bad for Lamar, or should he have just played better, not put himself in that situation? The Chiefs and the refs, a match made in heaven, as it always is. So hopefully the least the Bills can do is take down the Chiefs now that Lamar is out of it. That's how I'm looking at things. And as far as the NFC is concerned, the Detroit Lions, just a tough situation. And that is why when everybody sits there and jokes and says, oh, well, the Lions, yeah, it was tough against the Niners, but they'll be back. You can't assume that. This next season, as much as the Lions were the 1 seed, they were injured as you know what. They tried to power through. They were unable to power through. And now you're looking at a team missing their offensive coordinator, going to lose their defensive coordinator. Ben Johnson goes to the Bears. We'll talk about that. Aaron Glenn is probably on the way somewhere else as well. And you have nothing to show for it. So now everybody's discussing what are the Lions going to be moving forward. You have Jared Goff, who's good, not great. You have Dan Campbell, who is good. We'll see if he's great at certain things, right? But a lot of people put him in the Nick Sirianni category, and they have nothing to show for it. So all this time, they'll bring it back to the Niners as well. Oh, they'll be back. The Niners actually were back multiple times, unable to get it done. And now you have the Commanders, who Jaden Daniels, and I've been honest, I didn't think Jaden Daniels would be bad, but I wasn't in the category of the Dan Orlovskis of the world saying you should take him over Caleb Williams. And, that was a great shout from Dan Orlovsky. I'm sure he wasn't alone. But Jaden Daniels, he just cool as a cucumber. Whenever guys make the game look easy, that's when you know they're doing something. If you watch Jaden Daniels and you're watching sitting on your couch eating your potato chips and you think, man, Look at all these slants. Look at all these open guys. And it looks like backyard football, but structured. That's how it looks when Jaden Daniels plays. No clue. And I'm torn now because whether it's the Chiefs or the Bills, no clue if the Commanders' defense can hold up. But I do feel like offensively, the Commanders have a better chance of beating an AFC team than the Eagles, right? The Eagles, you beat the Rams, and honestly, did you just I know they beat the Rams in LA, but did you really just beat the Rams because of the weather? I don't know. But I don't see right now the Eagles, and Draper's gonna hate me, but I don't see the Eagles beating the Chiefs or the Bills. I don't.
Well, that's because the Chiefs and the Bills are the two best teams in the NFL, and so they will be favored in the Super Bowl regardless of who makes it out of the NFC. I guess to give the Eagles some props, Fangio and the defense, I think, are second in points per game allowed this year, so I'll give them that. They've been pretty good, but it's not the Eagles defense of 2 years ago that was kind of the reason why they made the Super Bowl, right? They had the great offensive line and they turned Miles Sanders into a Pro Bowl running back, but this year's defense is top 5, but it's not number 1 in the league like it was 2 years ago.
And I would say offensively, I've never been that big on Jaden Daniels, I am big on Jaden Daniels now, but never been that big on Jalen Hurts, and there's no reason for me to feel any differently. And he played really well in that Super Bowl, and I really don't think we've seen that Jalen Hurts since that Super Bowl.
Yeah, that season was an anomaly because that year the offensive line was perfectly healthy. If you go back and look at it, like that might have been the greatest offensive line in the history of the NFL. They had 3 future Hall of Famers. They still had Isaac, I can't remember his name. It starts with an S. He went to go sign with Samalu, who went to go sign with Pittsburgh. He was still on the team at that point. Like that might have been the greatest offensive line ever. And Jalen Hurts was playing like an MVP candidate behind that team, and it just hasn't been that since. But I'd argue this year it doesn't matter because they have Saquon Barkley, and Saquon Barkley is the greatest running back in the NFL going.
Right now he is. And, as I just said with the Lions, everybody assumes that this team will be back and blah, 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 blah. I saw somebody post the same thing about Lamar. Right? Hey, the way Lamar handled all this, that's how I know that one day he'll win the big one. Really? Because I don't know that he'll win the big one. I don't know if he'll get to the big dance.
I do think he's going to get there. However, it's going to be, how should I say this? On a technicality. Like it's going to be one of those years that either Josh Allen gets hurt or the Bills flame out. Maybe Patrick Mahomes gets hurt and he only has to go through like one of them like on Burrow, a down year.
Like maybe Burrow or somebody like that.
I guess, but since I don't trust Cincinnati to be able to build around Joe Burrow. That's just a reputation thing. But I do think Lamar is eventually going to get there. It's just this year, Josh Allen is the MVP of the league, and Josh Allen has been so excellent this year that there's just... You turn the ball over twice against Buffalo, you're not beating Buffalo.
No, and I would say this, right? Windows open and windows close. As it pertains to Patrick Mahomes, all these dudes are getting their opportunity to beat the man. Lamar had it last year. He was in the AFC Championship, and you had the Zay Flowers fumble. Then Lamar ends up throwing the pick. He kind of had to. This situation happens this season. Fine. Lamar had his chance last season. Now it's Josh Allen's turn to avenge what happened a couple years back with the coin flip. We'll see if Josh Allen can do it.
Yeah, I saw you say that, but and I know I'm wearing the Mahomes jersey and I'm the Mahomes guy, but Josh Allen had a home playoff game last year against Mahomes and lost. No,
I'm just saying he has it. Right, but that wasn't AFC Championship. I'm just saying he made it this far. Let's see what happens.
Sure, but they have a worse chance of winning this year than they did last year taking on Kansas City.
I don't think, not the way that they've been playing. And I get it. The Chiefs have been, they're the number 1 seed for a reason, but it's just the eye test. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel more confident with how Josh Allen, he's engaged now. If you've ever been engaged before, that might be, I don't want to get in trouble here, but it's a very fun time. Might be one of the most fun times of your life. Besides when you actually get married, of course. So the vibes are right with Josh Allen. What's funny to me is nobody's bringing up the fact that Amari Cooper trade was so bizarre and just did absolutely nothing.
His prize pick was at like 1.5 receptions, and it was like, he's probably not going to get it.
I'm just not. He might be the guy that if they get to the Super Bowl, hey, well, this is why they made the move. But it's very the Bills' offense is very confusing. They don't really use they have Keon Coleman, who I think is good, but he never gets the ball. It's just Khalil Shakir.
No,
it's one guy.
What's weird about it is it's everyone equally. It's like all 7 receivers, if you throw in Kincaid and you throw in Mac Hollins showing up in the foot, no shoes thing. Like all of Curtis Samuel, they all get the ball equally. And that's such a weird offense, is that like, there is no number 1, there is no number 5. They just all get 2 catches a game.
Obviously, we have a ton of Kings talk for you as well. The Kings, they beat the Wizards, who have 6 wins on the season, but we're not going to disrespect the Kings as far as taking care of business, because the Kings did lose to the Wizards last season, albeit it was in D.C. The Kings do get that W, so we have some sound for you from Doug Christie. Domantas Sabonis. Why don't we talk about the fact that Domantas Sabonis is actually getting better? Not just that he's playing really well, right? And not just that he is on a heater. The fact that this dude at 28 years old is improving right in front of us. So we'll have a conversation about Domantas Sabonis, Keon Ellis, and how he deserves his own award. I'm telling you this much. We have a couple names for the award, and you can help us out with it. And DeMar DeRozan enters another level of greatness. We discuss all that the next 4 hours. Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Winter can be tough on your garage doors. So are you sure yours is ready to handle the cold? Well, don't wait for your garage door to break down on a chilly morning. This February, Overhead Door Company of Sacramento is offering their Sweetheart Special, $150 off a garage door with the purchase of a new garage door opener. So don't let winter slow you down. Visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com for your free estimate. And another reason to love the great folks at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento is how consistent they've been with giving back to the community. They have served our region for 70 plus years as a family owned and operated company, and they give back, as you can join them this Saturday in Elk Grove for Project Ride's 25th annual crab feed, blessing the lives of those with special needs and disabilities. You can reach them at 916-421-3747, 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Good work from Kyle. There was a little bit of a static issue for you car listeners. So Kyle got that figured out. Thank you, Kyle. YouTube, the Sack Chat is rolling already. Kyle and I were talking, and we're about to get into some of these Kings Wizards notes and DeMar DeRozan, how he entered another level of greatness. Kyle and I were talking about the games this weekend, and with no Zay Flowers, I think that was a huge loss. And obviously, you had the fumble last season in the playoffs against the Chiefs, but Lamar didn't have basically what the whole idea of this. That's what's tough about the NFL and sports in general. Injuries are the worst part of sports. I'm not making excuses for the Ravens at all. I honestly think it's time for the Ravens to continue to evolve and get a true either a number 2 receiver. The fact that Hollywood Brown, the word on the street was that he wanted to move on because Lamar at that time couldn't throw at the level of some of the other quarterbacks. I think Hollywood Brown now would flourish on the Ravens because of how Lamar has evolved. But I think that the Ravens, Bateman is that good deep threat, but he's not a number 2. For them to go into Buffalo, I don't know why they were favored, but for them to go into Buffalo and not have Zay Flowers. And it's tough because you lose him in a game that you don't really need per se in the last game of the season. That's a really tough go. And with all that being said, for them to win, I don't know if Zay Flowers would have been back for the AFC Championship game. As much as me just being I'm a Lamar, I don't love Lamar, the quarterback, but I really would just love Lamar to win one just because of who he is. But for them to go into Buffalo and not have Zay Flowers and then go to Kansas City and possibly not have him, even if they had him, if you're in the camp, and I know if you're on the YouTube, you can see Kyle's Chiefs jersey, even if you had him, if you're in the camp of anyone but the Chiefs, you wanted the Bills to win that game. The Ravens, I had no confidence in the Ravens beating the Chiefs. None. Zero.
But the Ravens were the number one offense in the NFL this season, and I understand looking at it and saying many times if you have the best unit on the field, that gives you the best chance to win. And when I say that, I mean like offense, defense. Like if you took Baltimore's offense, Kansas City's offense, Baltimore's defense, Kansas City's defense, best unit on the field would have probably been Baltimore's offense.
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense you would go for it. But after you went in to do crosstalk, I was talking to our buddy Bobby from the street team and Ron downstairs. Like, they should have used Derrick Henry more, because the reason that they were the number one offense was because of Derrick Henry's threat to always break off a big run opened up everything else they were doing. And once
you get stuffed a couple times, they were getting stuffed a lot to start though.
And in fairness, they scored the touchdown on the first drive, but after that they got outscored 21-3 in the first half. So they were chasing from behind and they were using more Justice Hill and things of those sorts, but it was like they couldn't survive just 2 turnovers. And that was the thing that was so interesting, was Baltimore for most of that game was playing better than Buffalo, or at the very least Buffalo gave them a chance to win, because I just could not comprehend Joe Brady's play calling in the second half. Like, they got the lead and just took the ball out of Josh Allen's hand. But Baltimore was beating them for like 75% of that game, and they just didn't win. Yeah, so, as we see what happens next week with the conference championship games, NFC, AFC, personally feels like the AFC might be the actual Super Bowl. And I know people say that and then it doesn't go in that way, and I hope it doesn't. I'm hoping for a really good Super Bowl, of course, but it feels like if you could add Jaden Daniels to the Eagles, and that's me kind of saying Jaden Daniels is better than Jalen Hurts, well, he's playing like it right now, then I would give the Eagles probably win the Super Bowl. But if the Eagles, in that stupid snow out there, I was texting all my buddies, if they make this thing ugly and they, it's 14-12 and they beat the Commanders, I just, you go down to New Orleans where it's a dome and you actually have to score the football. I just think whether it's the Bills or the Chiefs, the AFC will be walking away with another ring. Well, you don't necessarily get rings for this, but it's really, really cool. And it's just something to add to a Hall of Fame career. During the Kings game on the 19th, as they took care of the Wizards, DeMar DeRozan moved ahead of Allen Iverson for 29th place in NBA history on the all-time scoring list. Of course, DeMar, with the contract that he has with the Kings, he is nowhere near done. So there are a bunch of guys that he will continue to pass. But a really cool moment for DeMar DeRozan to do it in a Kings jersey. And I keep telling everybody when we have these trade conversations, and don't worry, I got a new name for you, by the way. Put up a silhouette picture on the YouTube and close your eyes unless you're driving. There's a silhouette picture. I have a new name. It's a name that you've heard before, but I did more of a deep dive on this and why the Kings should go in this direction. But when we have these conversations about legacy and we have these conversations about marketing and things like that, I believe that matters to ownership. And because that matters to ownership, I believe that DeMar DeRozan is untouchable for a hybrid reason. I don't think it's the normal untouchable where it's, we can't afford to lose this guy or we don't think we'll be as good. No disrespect to DeMar DeRozan, but I think when it comes to the
the value that you would get back for DeMar DeRozan. I mean, who was it? Bobby Marks, that crazy deal, and shout out Bobby Marks, he's been on the station, but that crazy deal where the Kings get Jimmy Butler and the Heat get DeMar DeRozan and somebody else, whoever it was. I mean, the stability that you have finally built these last 11 games, to ruin that with Jimmy Butler would just be insanity. So with that being said, you know, the value conversation with DeMar DeRozan, the marketing conversation with DeMar DeRozan, and everything in between, that is why when people want to hop on the text line at 916-339-1140, we know you have to wait an extra day, so we can open up the phone lines if you want to be a part of the conversation and how you're feeling about your Sacramento Kings. But that's why when I get a call about DeMar DeRozan, when I get a text about DeMar DeRozan, and when I get a sack chat, I've even seen Carmichael Dave talk about, why don't we talk about moving DeMar DeRozan? Me personally, I just don't think it's going to happen because of stuff like this, right? They get to say that DeMar DeRozan passed Allen Iverson for 29th place in the NBA history on the all-time scoring list in a Kings jersey. And let's not forget, this is a business, all right? It's entertainment. It's competitive. You want to win, but it's a business. And when something like that happens, they talk about it on ESPN. They talk about it on all these other large national platforms who, you know, people seem to think nobody cares about anymore because it's old media. But for some reason, all the athletes, even with their new media podcasts, still tend to go on the old media platforms, but that's a conversation for a different day. That is why, to me, DeMar DeRozan is untouchable to ownership's eyes, at least for this season. We can have a conversation about during the offseason if this thing doesn't go well, but there is no way from they're nothing like us and all the promotion that they're trying to push DeMar for the All-Star, you know, probably not going to happen, but he's a name that they can push. So that is why, number one, shout out to DeMar DeRozan. But stuff like this is why I don't spend a lot of time. It's not that I'm ignoring you, or it's not that I don't think you have any good points when we have conversations about trades and who is, you know, touchable and untouchable. I just don't think that DeMar DeRozan is in that category. Definitely not before the trade deadline. Maybe we can talk in the summer, but definitely not before the trade deadline. But shout out DeMar DeRozan, everything he's been doing. The Kings are rolling right now. Yeah, the Wizards stink, but they gave the Warriors, who also might stink, but they gave the Warriors a tough go the night before, coming off a back-to-back. So Jordan Poole, he had a career high, and you know I love Poole Boy, not so much Jacuzzi. Now everybody doesn't want to talk about Kyle Kuzma because he has a bad game. Y'all didn't want Kyle Kuzma before anyway, so stop playing with us. All right. Got to get to a break on the other side. Let's get to those Kings-Wizards notes. Doug Christie improves to 6-0 at home, which is pretty darn good. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Lowe's knows how to help make your Super Bowl 59 party a touchdown. Let us help you prep your home to host with top brands like Charbroil, Blackstone, and LG, so you can be the MVP of game day. Plus, use the Lowe's app to find what you need for a seamless shopping run. Or huddle up with our Lowe's Red Vest associates to help make all your game time hosting decisions.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The PGA Club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their number one priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE. It's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, but we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
This 49er injury report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
The Kings take care of business against the Washington Wizards. Allen Stiles here, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. By the way, be on the lookout. I know the De'Aaron Fox shoes are still dropping in new colorways. The Banditos came out, his favorite taco truck, and a couple other colorways. The Buzz Lightyears, I don't think that's the name of it, but that's what people were calling them. They do look like Buzz Lightyear colors, but those are probably my favorite ones. Malik Monk signs a shoe deal with Peak. And, you know, I was doing a little bit of research that dropped over the weekend, and I believe they've signed Jokic and guys like that. So be on the lookout for Malik Monk. By the way, Malik Monk, that logo that they cooked up for Malik Monk, very, very fire, as the kids say. Very, very impressive. Don't know what the shoes are going to look like, but they got the logo taken care of. I don't know if I would even need the shoes because I'm not still hooping, but I would buy some Peak gear with the Malik Monk logo on it because it's a good one. I mean, you got the 2 M's, so it's pretty straightforward, but they got, it's pointy at the bottom. So, it's very much Malik Monk, I would say. Kyle, you have some other names? Because I saw I just went to the Instagram and I saw people that they were focusing on. I think Bogdanovich, they have him too. So a couple names, and congrats to Malik Monk on signing that deal. He's definitely getting the bag. I'll tell you that much.
I guess there's a few people that pop up when you go to their athlete collection. Jokic is one of them. I think Tony Parker used to be a peak athlete. Lou Williams, Andrew Wiggins.
That's who it was. So basically, Malik Monk could be the biggest star on peak. Besides Jokic, so he could be number 2.
Apparently, George Hill and his 80 teams also were a peak athlete. I think Jokic is kind of the big one, though, because I think the Serbian national team has a peak branding sponsorship, which would make sense why Bogdanovich is probably part of peak. Jokic has his own shoe, so I would I guess that's the group of people that we're working with here. But a lot of these shoe companies that are secondary, you kind of get the 1 star and then you kind of build the rest around there. That's kind of what New Balance has done, so I guess that makes sense.
Well, I noticed that Malik was big into the Kobe's last season, so I knew something was up, and I didn't really notice what he was or wasn't wearing, but I knew it didn't feel like he was wearing the Kobe's as much as he typically does. So that makes sense. This thing has been in the works. I saw an article back in October, so I think it finally got taken care of and made official. So shout out to Malik. Got some peak shoes coming at some point.
On their website, they also mentioned Jose Alvarado is also apparently a peak athlete.
There you go. So
it's him, Malik, and Wiggins.
So when it comes to, these deals, do you want to be the number, I don't know, if you're Malik, the number 64 athlete on Nike, and that's just probably in basketball? Or do you want to be the number 2, number 3 at a place like Peak? Like I said, I'm sure the money talks, and De'Aaron told him get the bag, so he's getting the bag. So we'll be on the lookout for Malik's shoes coming out. Hopefully, no clue, but hopefully sometime this year or maybe early next year. So shout out to Malik Monk. Speaking of Malik Monk, as he's been leading the Sacramento Kings during this Doug Christie tenure. I mean, Kyle, these games, let's not even play games, right? Because these games are tough. You're playing a 6-35 Wizards team. At that point, they were 6-34. They're 6-34. They have 1 win on the road. And they stink. And very similar to the Jazz, I would say. I don't know if the roster is as bad as the record. They might be worse than the Jazz. I know the Jazz have some question marks with their decision to hold. They haven't moved John Collins yet, and they decided to keep Marketing. We're not really sure what's going on there, but at least the Wizards more so. I don't know who's in a worse situation, but it feels like the Wizards, it's really Kyle Kuzma, and then you can make a decision on Jordan Poole. I've seen some conversations about Jordan Poole getting moved, but both teams really, the Jazz have more players where it's what are we doing? At least the Wizards only have 2, in my opinion. Or they have 3 if you count Valanciunas. But you got Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole, and Valanciunas are the 3 what are we doing guys. So they stink. They come to Sacramento. They almost beat the Warriors, and Jordan Poole had a great game. This game, he did not have a great game, and we probably all saw that coming. The Wizards, they started out a little hot. I remember Kyle Kuzma hit his first 3. Jordan Poole hit a couple early, but, you mix that on top of a cross-country back-to-back. I don't know. My biggest takeaway is that the Kings didn't blow it. That's my biggest takeaway.
No, they were 18.5-point favorites, and they won by 23. That is as normal as you can get, because it's interesting to decipher who is in a worse situation, because that connotates going forward, who's in a better spot or a worse spot. But in the present, Washington is the capital W worst team in the NBA. The worst. 30th in offensive rating, 30th in defensive rating. They just suck. But to your point, they have cleared out a lot of the players who used to win games for them, like Daniel Gafford, Tyus Jones. They've made moves to the point now where it is just Kuzma and Poole and Valanciunas, and the rest are guys that at least have a chance of impacting the team in some way. But Coulibaly and Alex Sarr and maybe George and Kispert are the only ones that actually have a long-term future on the team. So I just take it as a win and don't think much about it after the fact. I know we're doing the show today because we didn't have Monday, but this is like after the game's over, we don't even think about it again.
Yeah, well, the one thing that we will think about is the fact that Domantas Sabonis had 18 at halftime, DeMar DeRozan had 15 at halftime, and Malik Monk had 14 at halftime. And with that being said, Domantas Sabonis had a first half double-double. And with that being said, this is a level of taking care of business that we haven't seen from the Kings very often. They didn't give the Wizards any hope. They didn't mess around and let Jordan Poole accidentally get hot. None of that. They said, you're here to lose. We know you're here to lose. So let's just not play any games and get this over.
Never within a dozen points. Let me think. In the fourth quarter, they got it to, I think, 12. I think that was the closest they got it to at any point. It was nothing's going to happen. I couldn't believe Domantas Sabonis now has 50 career first half double-doubles.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's crazy. We don't talk enough about like the triple doubles. He's like top 10 all time, and we don't even stop and notice that he's top 10 all time in triple doubles. 50 double doubles in the first half for his career is just absurd.
Doug Christie 6-0 at home. Mike Brown, for whatever it's worth, was 6-12 at home. And the Kings right now, they just all look to be on one accord. That's one of the best ways I can put it. In I would say going back to last season, even with Harrison Barnes, there were just times where whether it was De'Aaron Fox or Malik Monk or Domantas Sabonis, and Domantas Sabonis not so much at the end of games, the question was, all right, are you going to get going? Is it your turn? Is it my turn? Harrison Barnes, what are you giving us? We can't sit Harrison Barnes. And it's funny, you look back on and Trey Lyles did deal with injury, but you look back on last season and we can't sit Harrison Barnes. There's there is a world where I'd like to see what would have happened if they did. I don't think anything would have mattered, but with Malik Monk doing what he has been doing, these staples that we just felt, or not we, but these staples that we were told were just untouchable, and things that we're only going to be worse if we do that. Clearly, these ideas keep getting shattered, and these narratives keep getting shattered with each and every game. The Kings now 9-2 under Doug Christie, and we're going to talk more about where they are in the standings. They're number 8 now. So if the season ended today, they would be in a better position than they were last season. Now you bring in a guy like DeMar DeRozan, and that is the hope. But the way things started here, the 8 seed by itself does not tell the whole story.
The way we got there is not what the record says by any stretch.
Not at all. But none of that matters now. The one team that you're paying attention to, or the teams that you pay attention to, are the teams that you don't have the tiebreaker against. So need those Lakers to keep losing. And it seems like they just may do that. LeBron has entered his zone. We are at the point of the season where LeBron talks about not having enough help and the roster isn't good enough. It's one of my favorite parts of the NBA season. And the Laker fans, they follow suit. It's my favorite part. We go from this team is going to do it, enter random name that is much better than what everybody else thought because the Lakers know how to find talent. That name could actually be JJ Redick. And I know JJ's still young in his career, first season. And now we are to the point as the Lakers start to slip. You have the hot start. Lakers start to slip. And now we have LeBron throwing shots at the roster. It's my favorite part of the season. I guess it's my second favorite part of the season compared to the Sacramento Kings when they get hot. And they've gotten hot in a way that we haven't seen in a couple years now. Let's hear from Doug Christie on the other side, what he had to say. We got Christie's cuts from the Wizards-Kings game. Allen Stiles, Sackdown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sackdown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions. Plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. All in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
About to get into Christie's cuts. Not cold cuts, they're hot. All right.
They'll be, if sales is listening, they'll be any cuts we want them to be.
That's right. That's right. I'm not going to name any sandwich places, but it's right there for you. It's right there for the taking you up to 2 p.m. Also, probably going to do this around 1 o'clock later in the show, but I have to have a conversation with you, Kyle. I have to have a conversation with the listeners. It's Allen Stiles story time, and this story is about an awkward situation that I am a part of. I can't give too many details on who it is because honestly, this dude would probably know anyway. But long story short, when you're dealing with bachelor parties and weddings, and you understand that there are levels to your friendship, there are tiers when it comes to your boys and your kind of boys and whatever. And I have a situation with a couple other buddies of mine where we may or may not be getting iced out of a bachelor party. So I will have that story for you probably in the 1 o'clock hour, but I have to get everybody's thoughts. Are we getting iced out or is it a misunderstanding? So we'll have that conversation at 1 p.m. I need help. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, now I'm curious what direction this is going to go because I've heard the details of this story. We were just talking about it in a pre-show meeting. And
there's updates.
I'm curious what's happened now.
There's updates.
It sounds like it's escalated.
Yeah, well, I think that's a problem. It has de-escalated, so I don't know. I'm sure my wife will be happy, but there might be one less trip for Allen to go on this year. But we'll talk about that in the 1 o'clock hour. All right, Kyle, let's get to Christie's Cuts.
Congratulations to DeMar for getting 29th all-time in the NBA in scoring. That is that's special. If you pass Allen Iverson in anything, you're doing something. So to my man, much respect. DeMar is what a pro is all about. This was a professional win, I thought, and that's kind of how I address the team before the game, is just the ability to be a pro and handle your business. You go out, and as I talked to you guys before the game, it's faceless. It's about you. It's about your process of play to play, night to night, and being about your business. And to those guys in that locker room, I say a massive respect. Keon is, I've told you guys before, like, he has things that you don't teach. There's instincts and timing and different things on defense. He's found his way and found his shot, and shooting is it comes and goes, but he continues to hone it. He continues to work on it. I try to just give him the confidence that shoot the basketball. If you're open, we trust you. We watch you do your work. So we know that if someone's going to shoot it, you're one of our best guys. Let that thing fly. And then defensively, he takes on the toughest opponent. So I have a massive amount of respect for what Keon brings to us and what he means to our team. The record obviously is not where we want it, but I think that whenever you take pride and love something up with your heart, you can feel it. And that's really all it's about for our fans, is like, you can feel the vibe in the building. You can feel the energy in the building. And these guys come here to, in essence, put on the show. That's what they're here to do. And there isn't no right or wrong. It's, are you doing it the right way? Are you playing for each other? And if you're doing that, we live with the results. And I know one thing about our fans, they respect the hell out of that. And that's what they've been doing. Now, the byproduct that has been winning, it won't always be that. But when they walk off the floor, I want the fans to understand that these guys come and they play with their heart. I've always thought that a home court, you have to learn how to use it. We never really understood how to vibe with our fans to our advantage. And part of that is, like, I've been in that situation, and I know that when you get the opportunity to do that, you do that. And they're going to give it up to you. So those type of moments, I'm excited for them. I'm for the fans, but even like my guys, I'm like super excited because I know like it means everything to the players. They're playing hard, they're working together, they're doing all the things that we're asking of them, and then the fans come out and they support them, and that really, it means everything.
Those were Christie's cuts. Doug Christie, everything he had to say post-game after the Kings get that W against the terrible Washington Wizards. And, the Keon Ellis stuff, and it's funny how Domantas Sabonis can have a game like he had, and there's so much going on that Domantas Sabonis doesn't even really get brought up. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan doing his thing, Keon Ellis doing his thing. But as far as the home court record and us talking about making the decision to move on from Mike Brown and who do you go to next, right? There are a couple options out there. Obviously, Doug Christie was the fourth guy on the bench, so he wasn't the first guy on the bench, right? So a couple other names could have been thrown around, and maybe they were, and Doug Christie ends up getting this opportunity. But the conversations that we've had about the Kings and home court, even during the Beam Team season, we have discussed the idea that the Kings maybe felt pressure from the fans, right? To understand how much this means to the fans. And we've even had conversations about the Beam and how much the Beam matters. And could this be actually working in a negative way as far as, if we don't win, Sacramento, they're all counting on us. And then you get a little tight and things don't work out. What Doug Christie specifically has given to the players is the ability to connect with the fans in a way that only he could because of his past of playing here in Sacramento, to where, there's a level of respect, but and there's a level of pressure, but it's pressure that you should enjoy. You are one with the fans. It was never the Kings versus the fans, but there's no level of, if we don't win, the fans will. Look, if you lose, they'll boo. And if Doug Christie loses, they'll boo him too. It might take longer, but that's just the way of the world. But the pressure that they were feeling, or it just feels like they were feeling, in terms of, if we don't get this done and the whole city is counting on us, instead of being afraid of it or instead of being worried about it, I believe that Doug Christie has allowed this team to embrace it in a way that they were not embracing it before. Maybe they felt like they were embracing it. Maybe they thought that they were embracing it, but they got on the floor and you could tell that it was more of a nervous excitement, almost, your first varsity game, if you will, versus we're here, we're controlling the narrative, we're controlling what we do, and we are enjoying this. I think that's what it was. I don't know how much the Kings enjoyed what the fans were bringing. More so, they were worried or nervous to let the fans down. Doug Christie has allowed them to enter a world where they are enjoying this, right? You should bask in this. You shouldn't think about, when you have a job interview or something like that, and a lot of these motivational speakers and, even psychiatrists, if you will, when you have your thoughts in your head, and trust me, I'm a head case as well, so I'm right there with you. But the first thought is, what if I don't get the job, right? And you talk a lot about manifesting things and believing in the positive. And some of this stuff might come off as corny, and that's fine. Maybe some of it is corny. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. But I think that there were too many thoughts of, if we don't win, if we don't get this done, going back to even Game 7, if you will. I know there are some X's and O's decisions there. We won't get into that. But if we don't win, what's going to happen? What about if you do win? What about if you actually just take care of business? Part of that is also preparation, right? You're always going to be confident if you feel prepared. You're not going to feel nervous. You're not going to feel like you don't belong. But as I watch Doug Christie's Kings, it's very clear to me that when it comes to home court advantage, they didn't view it as an advantage before. It was a team that had a really passionate fan base, and there was a disconnect, and nobody knew what that disconnect was. But Doug Christie, he understood, all right, whatever is going on in this locker room, this is how we need to connect these guys back to what is going well out here in Sacramento in the Golden One Center. Stop thinking about what happens if you don't get it done and start thinking about the fact that you are going to get it done and you are good enough. And like I said, as cliche as all this might sound, that's what I'm seeing from the Kings right now. On the other side, you know what else I'm seeing? I'm seeing a Domantas Sabonis do his thing. And we talk about Domantas Sabonis playing really well, and we talk about Domantas Sabonis playing at an all-star level, all-NBA level. Why don't we ever talk about Domantas Sabonis actually just getting better? Maybe he's just getting better, which is a scary, scary thought. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Your one-stop Honda shop.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel. Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. SubcontractorsUnited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us at Tom's Watch Bar for an exclusive Sacramento Kings watch party on Thursday, January 23rd versus Denver, complete with 360-degree viewings, surround sound, MCs, giveaways, and prizes. See you there.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
How many times have you heard this? Tell me if you haven't heard this before. We're taking Domantas Sabonis for granted. I think I just heard it last week. Might have been on the drive, guys. We're taking Domantas Sabonis for granted. Well, you're about to hear it again. Because I still think we are. And you try not to. You recognize what he's doing. You understand what he's doing. But night in, night out, how many times, and this is my job, I will look at a box score. I will go to DeMar DeRozan. What did De'Aaron Fox do? What did Malik Monk do? And then you get to Domantas Sabonis, 29 and 18. 29 and 18. The rebounding for me is insane because the rebounding for me is the one thing that you don't necessarily think in your mind can improve or that Domantas Sabonis had to improve upon. But it's literally what he's doing. I mean, we talk prop talk all the time. And you sit there and you think, man, this thing is set. The last one for the Wizard was set at 16. There's no way he's getting 16 rebounds. You're right, he didn't get 16. He got 18. Okay? Over his career, averaged 10.5 rebounds a game. This season, he's averaging 14.2. He's averaging 14.2 rebounds per game. And this guy is six. This is not Wembanyama. This is not Rudy Gobert, right? These guys that can dunk without jumping. Domantas Sabonis, 14.2 rebounds per game. That's insanity. Insanity. Over his career, 16 points per game. This season, 20.8 points per game. Over his career, 4.9 points per game. Excuse me, assists per game. This season, 6.3. This is insane. By the way, I got to be honest here. I'm 34 years old. I'll be 35 in a couple months here. I'm not trying to rush it. Trust me. I saw something real quick. It was a list, or it was a guide as to what you should be called. And like 13 to, I sent it to my little nephew. It was 13 to 21 was young bull. Okay. You're still young. And then after that was, I think, big bro, and big bro ended at 34. And then 34 to I think 45 was Unk. And then 45 and up was OG old head. So I have one more year as big bro, and at 30 I will become Unk in 2 months, and I am dreading it. Or maybe I have another year. I got to double check. I'll pull that up for you.
I'll start calling you Unk.
No, please don't. I checked out some highlights of Arvydas Sabonis. They were going around social media. That I was not aware. I was not aware. And I did not understand Arvydas' game.
That's not even prime Arvydas either, because his best years was spent over in the old USSR, and there's not a whole lot of video from that. So you got post prime Arvydas Sabonis highlights too.
So I was not aware of Arvydas Sabonis' game. And we can tell when you watch Domantas Sabonis, obviously he gets it from his pops. This dude is playing out of his mind right now. 60% from the field. His career, he's 55%. 48% from three. His career, he's 34%. 76% from the free throw line. His career, he's 72. He's up by a landslide in every single category. And we sit there, the collective we sit there and we continue to say, man, he's playing so well. He's playing so well. Maybe he's just getting better. Maybe he's just actually getting better. This is from Stat Mamba. Domantas Sabonis right now leads the NBA in three-point percentage, okay? He would become the first player in NBA history to have a season 60% from the field and 40% from three-point range. The first player in NBA history. And he could also lead the league in rebounds. It's insanity, but we keep saying he's playing really well. No, he's actually getting better right in front of our face.
No, he's one of the 10 best players in the NBA.
Like, it's not even close. And look, I don't want to get into the politics of the All-Star and things like that. And it stinks that Sacramento is always put in these positions. He's 28 years old. He's 28 and 263 years old. So he's closer to 29 than 28. But he hasn't even hit 30 yet. Okay? You can count on him. He's always on the floor in a world of, it's him and Jokic. Any other big, and I'm even putting Chet in this category, but the Joel Embiids, the Chets, a lot of these guys, and I guess Gobert, but Gobert can't score the basketball. So out of these elite big men, and Giannis is a unicorn, out of these elite big men, who else can you count on? These big bodies, they tend to get injured, things like that. Domantas Sabonis and what he's doing, it is utterly absurd. Utterly absurd what he's doing right now.
Can I throw one more crazy stat I just looked up at you based on the Stat Mamba?
Please.
So Domantas Sabonis, you said, would be the first player in NBA history to average 60% from the field and 40% from three in a season.
Yeah.
Can I tell you Domantas Sabonis' stats in 215 games as a Sacramento King? 19.5 points a game. 13.2 rebounds for his entire Kings career, 7.3 assists, 60% field goal percentage, 40.4% three-point percentage. Domantas Sabonis, as a Sacramento King, is averaging numbers that have literally never been put up in the history of the NBA. And last year we talked all about the chasing Moses Malone's double-double streak.
Yeah.
And this year it's all about the three-point shooting and how much of an improvement that is. But I don't think people realize just how incredible of an improvement it is. He's improved his three-point percentage this year by 11%. And he's taking over twice as many three-pointers per game as he was last year. That is insane. To increase your shooting percentage 11% while doubling your volume is unheard of. This guy... I know we do the all-star thing with Sabonis, and sure, I've been the guy who's been saying he's the best player on the Kings for like a year now, but jump past the all-star. This guy is putting up MVP numbers, and only in a world where Jokic and Karl Anthony Towns also exist does it somehow seem less impressive. He is an MVP caliber player this year.
Right, and the Karl Anthony Towns thing, I'm not really pushing back because he's playing really well this season, but Karl Anthony Towns isn't he isn't doing this at the same clip as Domantas Sabonis has been doing. But specifically this year, I hear you.
I bring that up only because last year the 12th All-Star spot didn't go to Sabonis because it went to Karl.
That's right. So it's insane what he's doing right now. And I think in Sacramento, we appreciate him, but I think there's another level of appreciation. And I'm not trying to pit anyone up against one another as far as the best player on the Kings. I just think it's not even really, I don't know how it's really debatable right now. I mean, Domantas Sabonis is the most important. Just because he's not the closer, right, does not mean, to me right now, Domantas Sabonis is the best player on the Kings.
Yes.
I don't think it's really that debatable.
Finally, Stiles has finally joined my side.
But I never necessarily thought that it was De'Aaron Fox. It's just the whole conversation of the closer conversation, and the best player takes the best shot and can boogie and can do these things. But you're not even in a position to take the last shot if Domantas Sabonis isn't playing.
You know that meme with the astronauts that are looking back at Earth and the one guy's behind him about to betray him? It's basically like, oh, wow, Domantas Sabonis is the best player on the Kings. And in my mind, I'm like, he always was.
Yeah.
And always has been.
And this season specifically, it's not a conversation to me.
Yeah.
So anybody, and that's also funny because we've talked about moving DeMar DeRozan, and obviously nobody wants to move anybody now because the Kings are winning. But the one thing that you could always count on in those situations was Domantas Sabonis. So, it was, I think it might have been last week or a week prior to that. But anybody having any conversation about moving Domantas Sabonis, we'll give you your airplay because we are a show of the people. I think we're the one of the number one, or probably the number one call-in show out there with all the calls that we get each and every day. So we're going to give you your time. Don't get me wrong, but I do not agree with you. And if it's a conversation right now, and again, I'm doing the thing when I'm saying I'm not going to pit people against each other, but I'm going to. If you're making me choose between De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis right now, I'm choosing Domantas Sabonis. I don't even know how close it is.
What's so great and fascinating about watching Domantas Sabonis is that the point center phenomenon in basketball is such a new, not revelation, but it's a new there was no precedent for a point center other than like Magic Johnson played center a few times on the Lakers.
Yeah.
What Jokic has done, what Sabonis is doing, I think to a lesser extent Karl, but Karl kind of plays that similar style of 3-point shooting and driving ability is really fun because it's new and it's unique. And Sabonis maybe doesn't get appreciated because of that newness to the playing style, in addition to all the other reasons why people think Domantas Sabonis doesn't get the proper kudos he deserves. But he is a top 10 player in the league this year. Most of the nerd stats that I love would back up that he might even be a top 5 player in the league this year. And the point centers are just so valuable because of that versatility.
NBA MVP tracker via Basketball Reference, they have Domantas Sabonis on the MVP award tracker. They have him at 6, Jokic at 1, Shea at 2, Karl Anthony Towns at 3, Giannis at 4, Tatum at 5, Domantas Sabonis at 6, Jared Allen at 7, Darius Garland, just 3 Cavs players, Jared Allen at 7, Darius Garland at 8, Evan Mobley at 9, and Jalen Williams at 10. And the other thing about this is what's funny to me is, and we got to get to the other side, but what's funny to me is how when people want to bag on Domantas Sabonis, they say the usage, right? The ball is always in his hands. That's where we got the famous shoulder from out there in the Bay. Shout out to them out there. The shoulder. Everybody talks about the usage with Domantas Sabonis, but they don't talk about the usage with Jokic. They don't talk about the usage with Shea. They don't talk about the usage with Giannis. They don't talk about the usage when Luke is balling. They don't talk about the usage there with those guys. And why that's part of the reason their numbers are so crazy, but they talk about the usage with Domantas Sabonis. So keep the same energy.
Yeah, and I understand the point is like the thing that separates Jokic from Sabonis is that Jokic can go for 50. He doesn't go for 50 because that's not the best strategy to win, but he can go for 50. And I don't know if you could say that about Sabonis.
No.
But 60 and 40 means that when he is shooting the ball, he is shooting it in a way that you've literally never seen before. When you're asking him to, I mean, the Kings offense looks so different this year just because of Sabonis shooting threes. And he knocks down so many of them that at a certain point, it's like, do teams not realize that he's this excellent 3-point shooter now?
Yeah, and look, we'll talk about it on the other side. I don't know how long that'll last because I do think we're really close to teams making that adjustment. But until then, get your money, young man. All right, we're going to hear from Domantas Sabonis on his 3-point shooting. And then we get into Keon Ellis and the award that Kyle and I are trying to create for guys like Keon. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from JiffyLube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, staying up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass as we marvel at what Domantas Sabonis has been doing this season. You know, not just from the three-point line. Look, we're about to hear from Domantas Sabonis. I'll give my thoughts. It doesn't really matter. I know he would be the first player in NBA history to average 60 and 40 as far as his field goal and three-point percentage. Do I think it'll happen? I'm not sure, but just being in that conversation, I think, is a bit insane. Here's Domas on his three-point shooting.
Obviously, it's going to open up. It's going to open up the court, you know, for my teammates, make it easier for them on other things that might pop, and the big might come out, and Fox has even more room, you know. So, any way I can help the team, I'm going to do it.
Is the process of improving?
Yeah, you know, it's something I've been working on ever since I started playing on basketball. You know, sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. You know, you got to keep doing it one summer, another off season, and you just hope that at one point you're just going to break through, you know, and so far this year it's been going in, you know, so I just got to keep sticking with it, you know, and shooting with confidence.
That was Domantas Sabonis. Yeah, I do think I think that Domantas Sabonis probably won't get the 40% from three-point land, but I actually think there's a good reason that won't happen, and that's because essentially what he's saying is, you know, the big is going to come up to guard me, and that's going to open things up. They haven't really done that yet. Most of Domantas Sabonis three-pointers, I mean, there have been a couple where, you know, the bigs are in the same vicinity, the same area code as Domantas Sabonis, but for the most part, he's still shooting wide open threes. And I think that as we get he's essentially setting the stage, right? And it's funny because he has to keep doing it because they're just going to err on the side of not going out to get him. But as long as he stays at 1 a game, eventually it's going to pay off where guys are going to come out to him, and that's what he's talking about, opening it up. So basically the whole beginning of this season, the 40%, that's just good. And even that 40%, I still think that bigs are going to let him shoot that first one. That's just how it is. But I would say as long as he stays around where he's at and is making 1 a game, the further we get and the more these games matter as far as the standings, bigs will not be able to just give up a free three-pointer to a 40-point shooter. I still don't think the other teams believe it yet. But the further we get into the season, eventually they're going to have to believe it. And when that happens, that's where things are going to open up. And that's going to happen, I would say, February, March, money time in the season. So he's essentially doing the work now, and it's going to pay off at some point.
Well, then let me ask you a question about the will he get to 40% or whatever. When the Clint Capellas and the Rudy Goberts and the Jared Allens start coming out on defense, do you think the shot attempts are going to stay consistent, or just he's going to stop shooting?
I think you'll see more pump fakes
and drives.
Pump fake drive, or depending on who's on the perimeter, now that this person's pulled out, De'Aaron Fox go to work, Keon go to work, whoever it is.
So in that sense, I don't know if it'll drag down the average
That's
as
true.
much. It will more so be the shot attempts per game are going to go down.
I do think he will have to shoot some, defend it, because then then what turns into the scouting report turns into get out on him, and he's not going to shoot a contested three. So I believe it will go down. He will take some. I don't know. It's probably going to be very similar, to myself at time. I hit 297. I think you can Google it. I know Whitey has 297, and everybody says, "Oh, you were a 300 hitter." Well, no, I wasn't. I was 297, and I think that Domantas Sabonis is probably going to end at I would say a stupid 39.4% just from those couple times where he does have to make them at least believe that he will take a contested three.
I don't know. He'd have to miss a lot of three-pointers to fall below 40%. I think the less likelier one is the 60%, but I understand the sentiment because last year he took 1.1 three-pointers a game, which is basically like 100. He took 100 three-point attempts. This year he's already at 92. So he's going to eclipse last year's averages, but if for the rest of the season he only takes 1.13 per game because defenses are adjusting, then what? He's taking just under 2 per game for the season?
Well, but then it would turn into, and this would be a hater, but then a hater would say, okay, well, he's the first person to do it, but he basically had that's basically going back to the batting average. If you had a batting average, you met the minimum, and then you got injured or you started bunting and looking for walks so that it wouldn't affect your batting average.
Sure, and I understand that point because, like, the person he's chasing is Luke Kennard, right? And Luke Kennard's at 46%, but he's shooting 4.5 threes a game.
Right.
So it's like, obviously, Sabonis is shooting by volume more than he's ever shot in his career and is somehow at a better or more than, I think, 2021. His last year with the Pacers, he's shooting more threes than at any time in his Sacramento tenure, but he's also not shooting like a three-point shooter. He's only taking 2 attempts per game. So he's somewhere in that in-between of shooting more by Sabonis standards, but less than his adversaries who he's better than from the three-point line. And just statistically, the higher volume you shoot, the more likely you are to miss because it's really hard to make three-pointers.
Yeah. 916-339-1140. 530 says on the text line, I think once teams start respecting Domas' three, we will see the offense get even more lethal. What do you guys think? Yeah, that's essentially kind of what we're breaking down there. 530. Good call on that. We'll see if he's still taking them, but either way, you pull that big out, and now you have a De'Aaron Fox, you have DeMar DeRozan, you have a lot of Keegan Murray who can get to the cup. So
Keon Ellis
as well. So a lot of guys can do a lot of things once that big is out the paint. 916-329-1140. Let's get to these calls before the break. Javi wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Javi? What you got for us?
Hey, I just want to say shout out to that man, Christy, man. I appreciate you, Douglas. You bringing us some feelings we haven't had in a minute. I know that 22-23 year was spectacular, but that was a solid year of solidification to the foundation of this organization. Granted, it's very new into the McNair era with his coaches, but man, it just feels like, we're walking into games now expecting to win against lesser than or equal opponents. And I just, my only caveat is I want your opinion. Would you want to go all in with draft capital for the Cam Johnson, Durant Sharp, and or make it 2 separate deals for Cam Johnson and Jonas Valanciunas rather, or go ahead and Valanciunas go ahead and get that acquired through the John Collins Walker Kessler transaction? All be the same package we went over and over again. I just want your opinion because we're coming closer to date, sir. It's about 16 days away.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Javi. I'll say this, and I've felt the same way the whole time. Bleep them picks. I don't care about the picks. The West is wide open. I know OKC is playing really well, but they're unproven. It's wide open right now. LeBron's down. The Warriors are down. I have always felt like I don't care about draft. I'm not a GM, but I don't care about draft picks. We can look at the NFL. And the NFL is in a different situation because you can refresh in the NFL much easier than in the NBA because if you stink, the worse you stink, the better your pick is. You got to deal with the lottery. You got to deal with a lot of things in the NBA. So for me personally, as far as draft picks are concerned, I know it matters with the apron and things like that. But as far as draft picks are concerned, sometimes you just got to ride the hot hand, right? And if you decide to hold on or whatever it is, and you could end up losing De'Aaron Fox, you could end up not doing anything moving forward, and those picks could end up stinking. So I've always been of the mindset. Now, do I want to do it for Cam Johnson in particular? I don't know. And maybe that's a problem. I don't have a name. But if it's John Collins and it's a bit more pricey than you'd like, I do think this team needs something, and I would do it. So it depends on your definition of all in. I know that Javi said a couple players, Deron Sharp as well. I'm struggling with the Cam Johnson thing. Honestly, I just have Cam Johnson fatigue. But at the same time, I do think that they should do something. TC, we're right up against it, so I want to give you your time so you will kick off the segment when we return. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
This 49er Injury Report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason.
Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
"916 says the only problem is we're a small market that rarely gets free agents. So if we give away our draft picks, we're basically giving away our future." You're not wrong, 916. I feel where you're coming from. You also got to look at opportunities. And I'm not saying give away 18 draft picks, right? If something makes sense. I'm just saying if you want to be, I would err on the side of being a little bit more aggressive if there's something that you really want out there. Now, buyer beware. The Dennis Schroeder thing on the Warriors hasn't really panned out. I haven't heard anything. All I know is the Dorian Finney-Smith thing. All I know is the Lakers are still losing. I know nothing about what's going on with Dorian Finney-Smith.
I think he put up a Tony Snell stat line the other day. I want to just double check to make sure. But yeah, he's having a tough go right now with the Lakers.
To be fair, neither of those situations would you say that the teams gave away their future, though. So the Warriors with Schroeder, Dorian Finney-Smith, they didn't give away their future. So it was more lower risk, hopefully a decent reward.
I'm guessing that the texter, though, is talking about Cam Johnson, which would require you to part with more of your future than either Dennis Schroeder or Dorian Finney-Smith or even the John Collins.
No. I agree with that. What I'm saying is, as far as it not working out, we haven't seen a big enough piece moved yet to say, oh, that was worth it for them, or oh, that wasn't worth it for them. We can go back to the Mavs last season where you had them go out and get Gafford and get PJ Washington, and they went to the finals. Now we'll see what the Mavs do this season. Could you argue that a finals appearance is worth it? Depends on who you ask. I think for the Kings, it might be.
I think it's more the sustainability that matters, especially for the Kings, which, by the way, for Dorian Finney-Smith, in 7 games with the Lakers, he's playing fewer minutes, obviously, but he's down from 10 points a game to 6 points a game. He is down from 46% from the field to 40% from the field. He's down from 43.5% from 3 to 36% at the 3-point line. In the last game against the Clippers, 22 minutes, 0 points on 0 points on 3 missed 3-pointers, 1 rebound, 3 assists.
Yeah, and look, maybe some of that is I don't want to say culture per se, but what is it that these names come about and they're not really sure what it is that they want these names to do. That is one thing, funny enough, that I do think the Kings wouldn't suffer from, because the Warriors and Dennis Schroeder is very clear. Just be DeAnthony Melton, a version of we need a secondary point guard. That was very clear. It just hasn't worked out. The Warriors get Cam Johnson, or this name that I am leaving out right now, but we will talk about later in the game.
Obi Toppin,
no, it's not Obi Toppin. I think the Kings at least know what it is they need this guy to do.
Or
very simple.
At the very least, maybe, you talked about fit and going to different setups. Maybe just, even though they're losing, the vibes in Brooklyn are great. Like, these players are playing better because the vibes are excellent.
Well, you're playing with no expectations as well.
Sure, but there's a lot of bad teams where it's not fun to lose. Maybe that's just a good vibes team. And then Dennis Schroeder left, and he's just sad that he has to play with Steph Curry, and Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton are sad because they have to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
I've had some of my best games in pickup when there's no weight. Okay? There's no weight. There's no pressure. You win. Cool. You lose. You run it back. It's different than when you see 17 dudes and you're thinking, if I lose this game, I'm going to have one game. My workout is cooked. I got to go home because I can't be gone for an hour. You play differently. 916-339-1140. Let's get to TC. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Alan, what's up with the homie Alan, man? What's up, bro?
Man, Tuesday. We just we getting through the day. How you doing?
All right, just vibing, bro. So look, check it out. I'm out on Cam Johnson as far as like giving up a bunch of assets, bro. Like I'm out unless Jordy just want to give them to us. You know what I mean? Like if it's protections and all that, like we got to figure that out, Monty. But if they're talking about we going 2 first and like I'm out on that guy. Like I'm at a point right now to where I'm like, bro, we can kill 2 birds in one stone. We can get a dog, grittiness, and we can get height, and we can get wing depth. It's a bunch that we can handle in that Kyle Kuzma and Valanciunas trade. Plus, you're getting 2 players for 1. If I'm going to give up a pick to add along with Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles, that's the deal I'm doing, bro. I'm like, here, Washington, y'all can have that. Just get us that 6'11" guy. We need him and get us that dog back up Lithuanian brother of Domantas Sabonis to add with the Bean team what we got going on right now, bro. That's where I'm at with it, Alan. That's all I got.
Thanks for the call, TC, as always. Yeah, there's definitely a couple different moves you can make as far as what the Kings can do or should do or what you would do. 916-339-1140. The 916 says, I would have loved Dorian Finney-Smith in the trade, some form of defensive backup for it. I just don't want to trade all of our firsts away. I wish we had some more assets other teams want or seconds that unfortunately we gave away. That's from Pool Guy Mark. Shout out to Pool Guy Mark getting chased by a dog. Hopefully you didn't get chased by a dog too recently.
I don't know. But I love that Pool Guy Mark is just out and about around the city and texting in his thoughts on the show. We really appreciate it, Pool Guy Mark.
Yeah, shout out Pool Guy Mark.
Him and Pharmacy Jeff, I think, are 2 of our favorites.
That's right. As we continue on here, the reality of where the Kings are is that they're winning and they're not even necessarily playing as good as they can. Right. And you have a Kevin Huerter. We're going to have a conversation, an awkward conversation about Kevin Huerter, just as far as what you do there. And, Trey Lyles, I know it's not all about shooting, but Trey Lyles has shot the ball better in the past. So the Kings, they're winning these games, some against lesser opponents, but they're winning these games and they're winning them. Prior to the Doug Christie era, it felt like the Kings had to be perfect. Let's go back to the Ravens and Bills game, right? There were a couple turnovers, and even though the Ravens were favored, I just think based on how Lamar has been in the playoffs, felt like they had to be perfect. Lamar's running around. Felt like they only got pressure on Josh Allen once or twice. Josh Allen never really got close to giving up the football. It felt like the Ravens had to play perfect, and the Bills were just chilling.
Well, I think it felt like that because the Bills played a near perfect first half.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the second half, the Bills kind of let Baltimore back in the game because they took the ball out of Josh Allen's hand. Like,
right.
Just went 3 and out.
Let's not get too caught up in the weeds there. My point is that it felt like watching the Bills, it was just easy. Everything was easy. The Ravens, it's just really tough, right? Very similar to watching the Commanders and Lions. Jaden Daniels is just back there chilling, making a sandwich, whatever he needs to do. Lions, it was, is it Gibbs? And we got Montgomery. He's back, and it's Sonic and Knuckles, and what are we going to do?
Now Teddy Bridgewater's here all of a sudden.
Yeah, yes, and Jared Goff gets cracked, and that was a crazy hit. All these things are happening. And then you have the Commanders just chilling, right? We have seen the Kings be on both sides of this. Prior to the Doug Christie era, it felt like they had to do every single thing right to beat the Blazers. They had to do every single thing right to beat the Spurs without Wembanyama. They had to do every single thing right to beat teams that weren't even that good. And now they're beating teams, whether they're good or not, and the Kings aren't playing the best version of them. Now, you're never going to have every single player rolling at one time. But the Kings, they're still very much starter heavy, okay, or they are very much dependent on the starters, but they're finding ways to win in other areas of the game. So that is kind of what I've seen from the Kings so far. I did want to get to this note on De'Aaron Fox as we talk about the All-Star, and somebody had it right when we discussed how after everything that we talked about with Domantas Sabonis, he might not be an All-Star, which is insane. I hope he is able to slide in there. Somebody else on the text line said, "How do you vote for Domantas Sabonis?" I'm doing the show right now, but if somebody could send some instructions to help out this texter, I imagine it can't be that difficult. But if somebody could send some instructions, we'll get the texter some instructions so they can go ahead and vote for Domantas Sabonis and try to get him into the All-Star. On the other side, let's discuss De'Aaron Fox, okay? And at what point should we put the All-NBA conversation to bed on De'Aaron Fox? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us at Tom's Watch Bar for an exclusive Sacramento Kings watch party on Thursday, January 23rd versus Denver. Complete with 360-degree viewing, surround sound, MCs, giveaways, and prizes. See you there.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We talk a lot about B-Ball Index on this show. It is one of Kyle's favorite accounts. And Taylor Wyman will be joining us in about 15 minutes. Also, look, I don't want to get everyone's hopes up. We know how these things can go. We know that everything can be fluid, but I did get a text. About the possibility of the secret Sacramento Kings segment coming back to us today. That would be closer to the 1 o'clock hour, if not in the 1 o'clock hour. So we may have a Kings player on today. Got to listen to find out. And I got to listen too. And we all going to find out together. Real quick, just to confirm why it's very difficult to figure out how to do the voting is because voting ended yesterday for the All-Star. So
at midnight last night.
And that is why they were triple. So hopefully you voted yesterday. That is why they counted ×3 yesterday, which we did tease on Friday, because Monday was the last day to vote. So it's all in the hands now of the writers and everyone else and the coaches and everybody else that can help get Domantas Sabonis in. It feels like it will only be Domantas Sabonis, even though De'Aaron Fox was in the conversation. De'Aaron Fox has cooled off a little bit here, which brings us, we see you, Brandon. We'll get to you because we're going to be joined by Taylor on the other side. But as we discuss De'Aaron Fox and how he probably won't be an all-star and what that means for his all-NBA conversation, we asked the question, is it realistic to see De'Aaron getting all-NBA? And as we sit here and look at De'Aaron's stats pre-Mike Brown and post-Mike Brown, De'Aaron Fox stats, and I know he's been injured and things like that, De'Aaron Fox stats, which is funny because they're winning. De'Aaron Fox stats in 32 games under Mike Brown, 26 points, 6.3 assists, 5 rebounds. De'Aaron Fox stats in 7 games under Doug Christie, 24 points, 6.3 assists, 5.7 rebounds. So not a crazy difference anywhere. I don't know, Kyle. It's one of those eye test things to me. And look, the difference between averaging 24 and 26 when you're talking about All-NBA is actually a big deal. But, you know, if his assists go up right now, they're the same. Crazy assist game. He had 13 assists against the Wizards. So I don't know. It feels, I was expecting it to be a bigger dip than it was. And thank you for pulling these numbers. I was expecting it to be a bigger dip than it was. But with that being said, the way things look right now with how the Kings are winning, I don't know if De'Aaron Fox is going to be able, just based on other players and their usage, and now that it's positionless, I just don't know that I see it happening with De'Aaron Fox. Not the way the Kings are currently playing.
I might also point out that the 26.3 is over 32 games, which means if I took out the 60-point game for De'Aaron Fox, he would be at 25.1.
If you took out that whole weekend, right? Because the team wasn't whole. So that's not really
it was 109 points?
Yeah.
If I took those 2 games out of the data pool, sorry, I'm doing quick math on the air right now. If I took 109 points out of the data pool, that would be here, Phil for 20 seconds.
No,
so
don't worry,
math.
I got you. The point is ultimately that this new version of the Kings, they're winning, right? But is his usage still high enough to where he would be a part of the All-NBA conversation? Again, do we think, and I think the Lakers got it done. You have the number?
24.6.
24.6. So it would be 0.6 better, barely better than Doug Christie. And again, these were games where the team wasn't whole, right? And you don't want that to happen because you need to win games. The Lakers, as a 7 seed, got 2 guys in with LeBron and Anthony Davis. That's LeBron and Anthony Davis. Do I see the Sacramento Kings as a 7 seed, or maybe they even as a 6 seed? Do I see Sacramento Kings with De'Aaron Fox averaging 24 points, 6 assists, 5.7 rebounds, or maybe it just goes to 5 rebounds as a 6 seed? Do I see the Sacramento Kings getting Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox in the All-NBA conversation? No, I don't. You're muted.
Yeah, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is going to have trouble making the All-Star team this year, so it's going to take quite a jump in the second half of the season. And we broke it down last week.
Mm-hmm.
It is very much a possibility because players who would be De'Aaron Fox in terms of efficiency rating is somewhere in the 30s right now in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take out players who won't qualify for All NBA, which is the 65 game, 20 minutes a game threshold, yeah, it becomes more of a possibility, but you'd have to really crunch some numbers to get De'Aaron Fox to that point, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
It just influences the future contract. In any other year, it would have no bearing on De'Aaron Fox's future. It's just this is the year that he has to get it in order to be eligible for the Supermax.
So, yeah, and look, you're winning games. I'm not complaining at all because they're winning games. The reality is when we were talking about holding on to De'Aaron Fox and keeping De'Aaron Fox, a big thing was it's going to be hard to turn down $345 million. That's not on if the Supermax isn't on the table, they need to keep winning. They need to keep winning because you don't make All NBA and you're out in the play-in and you don't even get into the playoffs. I think there is a very big chance of De'Aaron Fox saying, "Thank you for your time, Sacramento. I'm moving on."
Especially because even though De'Aaron Fox is statistically having a better season than Jalen Williams, the voters could go, 2 Thunder players deserve it more than 2 Sacramento Kings players.
Yeah. So I'm surprised there's not a bigger difference. I thought it would be more. We have to see where this thing goes. It's just been a lot of DeMar DeRozan, a lot of Malik Monk, and they've been winning. But again, having conversations about who's the best player on the team. Yeah, there's no question right now. It's Domantas Sabonis. And again, it's not about pitting people against one another. It's just the reality of the money difference. If he does not get the Supermax, it's really moving more towards how much De'Aaron wants to be a Sacramento King.
Last season, Domantas Sabonis set the NBA record for double-doubles, finished 7th in the MVP voting, and made All NBA. And he's playing better this year than last year. Like just think about just how excellent Domantas Sabonis is being, and he's going to probably make All NBA for a 3rd year in a row. That's a star player at the best. Like if you've been named a top 15 player 3 years in a row, you are clearly a top 15 Supermax caliber player.
Yeah.
Even on our own team, that's kind of what it looks like, which is no slight to De'Aaron Fox at all. Like we said, he's been a top 30 player in the NBA this year who should get consideration for the All-Star team. It's just in the numbers game of top 15. It's really hard to quantify it, given, like you said, he's averaging very good numbers and is a great two-way player, but there's a lot of players putting up 20 points a game that are giving it on both ends of the floor.
916-339-1140. Let's get to Brandon, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Brandon? What you got for us?
What's going on? Best sports show in Sacramento.
Oh, appreciate you. How you doing?
Not really. You guys kill it, man. I'm doing good. Real quick, I know you're up against it, but I just wanted to say, I could be tripping, but I think DeMar DeRozan was onto something when he predicted Western Conference Finals. The way this team's playing and the way that their upcoming schedule and where they are with the coach right now, I don't know if I want to mess it up too much and do a trade. I think that it's possible for them to make it to the Western Conference Finals with the team they got. I'm looking at it. If I was in a series with any of these teams, there's not really a team that scares me other than OKC. How do you guys see that working out? Do you guys think that as of now they can compete with any other team in a series?
Thanks for the call, Brandon. Wow, first of all, thanks for the shout out, Brandon. Love it when you call. And second of all, as far as what the NBA looks like once you get to the playoffs, I will say this, there is an argument. We know the rotations get tight, okay? And essentially the conversation that we've had is, are you going to add somebody? Let's say you do the deal and you do the deal for John Collins specifically, right? At this point, Kevin Huerter is getting phased out. Okay, he played 9 minutes against the Wizards, and some of those minutes were garbage time minutes. So Kevin Huerter essentially is getting phased out. That's also in a game that Devin Carter didn't play. So Kevin Huerter, they're moving on from Kevin Huerter, even if he doesn't get traded. They're moving on. So that John Collins deal, let's take that for example. John Collins for Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles. That's the deal we keep talking about. That would mean that your rotation going into the playoffs would be Keon Ellis. It would be essentially 7, right? Or 8 if you count Devin Carter. It would be Keon Ellis, Devin Carter, and John Collins, which I think once you get to the playoffs, most rotations are 8 to 9. You don't have 10-man rotations. So I think, Brandon, you're onto something because essentially what we're talking about, and I'm not coming down his road, Trey Bays, is if you could get more from Trey Lyles consistently, then you probably wouldn't have to do the John Collins deal. Now, obviously John Collins has more length than Trey Lyles, but you're losing 2 players to get back 1, assuming that player in John Collins is going to just be better, right? He's been better than Trey Lyles numbers to numbers. Obviously, numbers don't tell the whole story. But to Brandon's point, your rotation is still going to be 8 guys. Right. And you're 8 guys because you're losing Kevin Huerter. You're essentially replacing Kevin Huerter for Devin Carter, and you're replacing Trey Lyles with John Collins. So, Brandon, I don't think you're wrong. But if you don't do the John Collins move, it's all about what you're getting from Trey Lyles, in my opinion. Because those are the conversations. If it's Cam Johnson, I think Cam Johnson would come off the bench. It's the same idea. So if you're getting more from Trey Lyles, he went 0 for 3 at another tough shooting night against the Wizards, 20 minutes, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, a +4. He had 4 points, right? 0 for 3 from 3-point land, 2 for 6. If you're getting more from Trey Lyles, then this conversation doesn't need to happen. But you haven't gotten that from Trey Lyles. And that's why the conversation keeps happening. All right, we got to go. Great call there from Brandon. On the other side, we will talk to Taylor Wyman of B-Ball Index, and we have some good questions for Taylor, and Kyle cannot contain his excitement as we get a little bit nerdy here and go deeper into the numbers of what the Sacramento Kings have been doing. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their number one priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE, it's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, but we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
This 49er injury report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And like we said, you never know what's going to happen. We just got word. Very, very excited for who could be joining us. This segment, the super secret surprise segment, could be happening right now. So very similar to what I have to typically do. And, I'll pull back the curtain. We're just going to kind of buy some time here as we get some confirmation that that's going to happen. I will read through a couple texts and Kyle will hop in as well. But the person that we are supposed to get, it is one of it's going to be one of your faves. I'll tell you that much. All right. And we've had some great interviews here for the super secret surprise segment, but this one might take the cake. Somebody had this to say, Kyle, on the text line. They said, as far as moving your picks and doing things like that, you trade picks now. If it doesn't work, we trade stars to recoup picks and rebuild next year. It's not that hard. So basically you go all in, it doesn't work. You I guess blow it up after and you get a bunch of picks. That's actually not the craziest thing I've heard, but it's definitely a decision.
As long as you're content with it, because the tough part is you don't have your own picks when you decide to blow it up. Now, Brooklyn found a way to recoup some of their own at the end, but it's not a pretty setup when you have to go that route, but it certainly is more like exciting when you go all in and you're trying to vie for a championship. And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of doing the whole giveaway picks just for the sake of giving away picks. It really does have to be the right deal for the right player.
Well, I would also say that when it comes to the blow up thing, we keep on acting like it's going to be the OKC thing. That's what everybody is doing collectively. Look at Philly, and I guess Philly, they had some good runs, right, as far as the process is concerned, but they never even made it to an NBA final. So the idea of blowing it up, you're saying one season, this texter specifically saying one season in, if it doesn't work, blow it all up, get rid of, I guess at that point, maybe you're talking about more than just De'Aaron Fox. You have a 35, 36-year-old DeMar DeRozan. So, I don't know how easy it is to just make that decision. I don't think it's crazy. 916, but I don't know if you're saying it's not that hard. It is a little bit harder than you're making it. I will say that.
Yeah. And the draft picks are already in a weird place because they've got to give up the Atlanta pick. So if they make the playoffs, that pick is finally going to Atlanta this year. Then they have a pick swap that they've already given to San Antonio as part of the DeMar DeRozan acquisition. So it's not like they're working with a blank slate right now. There's a lot that the Kings have to decide how much they want to further make changes to the future instead of, making a smaller move around the edges.
It's quite the decision that the Kings will have if they decide to do anything at the trade deadline, and then beyond doing that, if they decide to move on from certain players, that is going to be a very interesting summer that we have coming up. But hopefully it would all be on the good vibes train as well. We're trying to get some guesses here for the super secret surprise segment. Okay. And as far as the guesses are concerned, I'll put it to you like this. It's someone that we haven't had any before. It's someone that we talk about on this show often, which is almost every Sacramento King. And I got a good guess for you here. It is somebody that we have talked about their musical taste a little bit. And I will bring up the musical taste conversation when we do talk to this person. All right, Kyle, do you want to give any hints here?
Well, I'll say this.
Don't give it away, Kyle.
No, but I will say that for the people who listen to the show, they know that this is at the very top of my list of favorite players on the Sacramento Kings for my own personal reasons that I would explain right now, but we're not trying to give away exactly who it is.
There you go.
One of my personal favorites.
So again, just being very honest with you, I'm gonna get in my Carmichael Dave bag here to just be honest with you. It's probably not outstanding radio right now, but we're just trying to power through. It's gonna be a few more minutes, so maybe on the other side. Maybe on the
player
other side.
may or may not be getting in some extra work after practice.
Yeah,
right now.
There you go. As we continue just kind of talking about the all-star voting and things like that, it really does turn into a bit of a popularity contest. And I'm trying to figure out whether that's okay or not. All right. As far as, they're just the grandfathered names. Remember, what was it? Singular Wireless. Oh, you're grandfathered into the plan. Just some names that were just grandfathered in. You get NBA, 2K, whatever. I was even still playing back in those days. And you knew Vince Carter was going to be there. And you knew Stephon Marbury was going to be. Doesn't really matter what the stats say. These names are going to be there. The one name that everybody's been going back and forth on is Ja Morant. And the idea that the NBA, quote unquote, I think I heard Jay say it. I don't want to misquote him, but I was listening to the Drive guys, and the idea that the NBA, quote unquote, needs Ja Morant there. Is Ja Morant got that much pull, or is he still? He reminds me of Fernando Tatis right? A person that was in a position to become the face and kind of tricked it off, but is still very young and has an opportunity. The NBA, do they quote unquote need Ja Morant at the All-Star game? Is that going to help that much?
I don't know what would help the NBA at the All-Star game at this point, because I just think the All-Star game is kind of not important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the All-Star game mattered a lot more when the NBA was trying to sell the product. And it was like, look, you can see all these players coming together for an event. And at this point, it's like, I don't think I don't think them playing together for the All-Star game is going to make or break the weekend itself. We all kind of know what it is at this point. To the Ja Morant conversation, I mean, did you hear what Ja Morant said after the last game? He's like, 3J, Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the franchise. It's not me. He said,
okay, well, he's doing the thing.
I know.
I mean, Giannis did the thing with Dame. They do the thing.
I know he's doing the thing, but there is some truth to the fact, like, back when the Grizzlies were battling with the Warriors and making deep playoff runs, it was like it was Ja Morant against the world. And he was talking about party in my city, and Ja Morant was the face of that team. I mean, Ja Morant, they're kind of a strength in numbers team now. And sure, Ja Morant's still the face of it, but he's not the best player even on that team.
Well, I would say this. What does Ja Morant bring to the table? He brings to the table electricity when he's dunking, and he brings to the table that chip on his shoulder, the kind of the grit that he plays with. Neither of those things will be on display at the All-Star game. I am to the point now where I do not care that a bunch of rich NBA players are hanging out together, taking videos of G Leaguers dunking. And I know Stephon Castle and a rookie and a couple other guys.
Domantas from the Bulls.
Yeah. Just now it's just the rookie. The dunk contest, just a bunch of rookies now. At least they're in the NBA. So I do not care to just watch these guys just hang out in their expensive outfits and do absolutely nothing. I really don't. So to me, does Ja Morant need to be there? If he's not dunking and if he's not giving 1,000%, talking trash like Russell Westbrook did during the All-Star game, then no, he doesn't need to be there because he ain't doing the things that I like to watch Ja Morant do.
I kind of think of the NBA All-Star game kind of like the Grammys, in the sense where it's like, it used to be a bigger deal than it probably is now, but a lot of what the Grammys has become is kind of like Met Gala-ish, where it's like you're there to be seen, you're there to film, but it's not necessarily about the Grammys themselves.
Well, and I'm going to sound real old here, but back in the day with the Shaq camcorder meme, that stuff felt legit, right? That stuff felt, we're here, we're just hanging out. Now everything is a show. Right. And with all these extra deals that these guys have, they're all promoting something. They're promoting their podcasts and whatever it is. It just, nothing feels authentic anymore. So I don't need to watch all these dudes Saturday night, just sit courtside and then not do anything on Sunday. I don't care.
It's kind of just like a festival of basketball in a way.
Right. So don't even have a game.
Well, they're not this year. They're doing the stupid 3-on-3 tournament thing with rising stars and all-stars.
They're not right. So they're doing a different version of the game, which they won't try in that either. But, this idea that the NBA needs Ja Morant there. Ja Morant is good at certain things. Ja Morant is helping the NBA in certain ways. None of that will be on display. Do we really just need to see him on camera? Is that what is the argument? I don't understand. And that is just specifically Ja Morant because he is a name that I think is getting close to being grandfathered in because the dude has been injured.
And he's been, like you said, around the block a few times now. I mean, this is the Grizzlies have been down and up and down and back up again all in the time that Ja Morant has been there on that team. And I know he's only 24 years old, but yeah, it's been a weird setup for the Grizzlies, and I don't think there's any player the NBA quote unquote has to have at the All-Star game other than maybe LeBron.
All right, Kyle, I'm leaving it to you. It's too difficult to keep this thing behind the curtain. Okay, we're gonna go to break, and then on the other side, we should have that super secret surprise segment with who, you might ask? Gotta listen to find out. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center this week. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Lock in your seats today at monsterjam.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
This beat is crazy. This beat is insane. It is. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports here. Tell your friends you still got time. Let me just say this. This person, I can't say the name. We do have confirmation of who it is. But this person is just putting in work. So again, I'm gonna pull you behind the scenes. Practice is over. Okay? We do the super secret surprise segment after practice ends. This dude is just getting in work. So whenever he's done getting in that extra work, he will join us. Okay? We got some guesses here. I see a guest for Trey Lyles. I see a guest for Keegan Murray. Okay. I don't know. I can't say.
Trey Lyles movement.
I can't say who it's going to be.
Sacramento.
You got to keep listening and letting everybody know that we're about to have one of the great, that one would probably give it away, but a great up-and-comer in this league.
Yeah, this has been a pretty significant tease, but I am super excited that we're going to get to talk to this person because it's been quite a turnaround over the last, call it 10 games. I know you can say that for a lot of Kings players, but it's been quite a turnaround for this Sacramento King.
That's right. That's right. So when we get that information, when he is kind of done doing his thing, we will head on over. By the way, while we're waiting, let's check in on where the Kings are in the standings. Okay, you got Oklahoma City at number 1. You got the Rockets at number 2. The Grizzlies at number 3. The Rockets are, they're starting to slip a little bit. Grizzlies are right on their heels. You have Denver at the 4 seed, Clippers at the 5 seed, the Lakers 6 seed, Mavericks 7 seed, and the Kings by themselves, by their lonesome, in the 8 seed. Timberwolves 9, Suns 10, Warriors 11. Warriors, look, I know y'all like to get on me because of my past and because I'm from the Bay, but I can't even begin the Warriors part of my timeline. They're just in a tough spot, and everyone can laugh if they want, and I will not judge you because it is insanity. These brothers lost by 40 points. Not that they were down at one point, because there are games where you're down 30, but you end up losing by 22, or you're down 40, you end up losing by 30, whatever it is. They ended the game. That means that the garbage time, they didn't even make any headway during the garbage time. 40 points is nuts. 40 points is nuts. And I don't know if anybody saw it ending like this. I saw something as far as the Warriors are concerned and how they continue to, say all these guys that are untouchable for them and they shouldn't, make any moves. The Warriors, this was January 18th. So going into that game, the Warriors only have 2 positive offensive players, Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. 2 positive offensive players, okay? And they have a whole team of untouchable dudes. That's crazy to me. And the 2 guys, Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, who you don't want to move him, okay, then I don't really know what we're doing here, but 2 guys that are positive offensive players. It's kind of crazy.
There's nothing left for them. There's nothing left. They're almost giving up on the season. They are still in that 11 seed, which I'll give them that. They're not that far back. And if they beat the Kings on Wednesday, which is not going to happen, but if they do, and the Wolves win and the Suns win, it's like a 3-way tie for the 9 seed. So basically it's like everyone's starting with a clean slate from this point going forward. But yeah, man, if you were to pick any team that is completely going to fall off, it would be the old Golden State Warriors, because after that 12-3 start, that's what now? They're 10 and
crazy
19.
Crazy. I'm just looking. I just don't know how you get 125 to 85. And Jaylen Brown, like, again, these guys obviously didn't play the whole game. Jaylen Brown 17, Tatum 22. Nobody eclipsed 30 minutes for the Celtics. Porzingis 18, Drew Holiday 10, Pritchard 14, Sam Hauser 11. 916 says, for the super secret surprise segment, 916 says, it's Ellis. So obvious. Well, it's not obvious, 916, because we said it was somebody we hadn't had before. And we've had Keon Ellis before. So it is not Keon Ellis.
I really just be chilling for real.
Thank you, Keon.
I really just be chilling for real.
We've talked to Keon a couple times, but we've had Keon before. So you are incorrect. Div on the Sack Chat, Neon Keon. Farmer says 3 on Ellis. No. It is not Keon Ellis. That one is out. Keep guessing, though. Keep guessing. This guy is still getting his work in. Okay, so we appreciate that. And we're looking here at what the Kings can be if they continue to win basketball games. And, I mean, nothing is out of, well, besides number 1 and the first 3, besides the first 3 positions, nothing is impossible right now. And you look at who the Kings have in front of them, we know it's not going to be easy just as far as what they're dealing with. But I'm just staring at that 6 seed with the Lakers. The Lakers made the move. They made a move. I don't know if it's the move for the Lakers. Like I talked about, LeBron said, there's something to the effect of that's what this team is, or basically just doing his LeBron thing where he comes at the roster. So I don't know what the Lakers are going to do. If I don't see them, they're just going to be annoying, right? I think deep down in their heart of hearts, the Lakers are essentially saying, let's not fall past 7, because let's be honest, I'm not going to put on the conspiracy theory hat, but I don't think there's anybody that feels comfortable playing LeBron and the Lakers in a play-in game. And you can do with that information what you want.
Have the Lakers basically been the same team for, minus the Westbrook season, 4 years now? Like the 7 seed in the West,
yeah,
spicy team in the play-in, probably going to lose a first-round series against a team that goes on a deep playoff. Well, it's happened to been the Nuggets the last couple of years, but it seems like that's what they are. They are good for the 6 or the 7 seed pretty much every year.
Yeah. So there is that part of it where the Lakers scare me simply because of the tiebreaker that they have. The Mavericks, sitting at 23-20, got to check in on when they'll get Luka back. But those other 2 teams, I don't see dropping that low. So the Kings are just going to have to start winning ball games. That's what this is. The Timberwolves, I don't know what to do with the Timberwolves. They're going to be around. All these teams. The Clippers, I saw somebody say I'm getting pulled into the Clippers could make a run thing, and everybody felt like we stopped doing that. But now with Kawhi back, you start wondering, Could they do it? I'm not falling for it. I think they'll hold on to the 5 seed, but I am not falling for it as far as the Clippers actually doing anything. I'm not doing it anymore.
Jason Ross had an incredible stat this morning that was basically like, in the time of the win streak, the Kings have gained back like 6.5 games on the Mavericks.
Yeah.
They've jumped 5.5 games on the Warriors. I can't remember. I think it was like 4.5 on the Timberwolves. And then the Nuggets and Clippers, they've gained like basically no ground, which I think is kind of funny that it's like, even with this incredible run, better than any team other than the Thunder in the league, it's like, well, the Nuggets are also on a run, so you haven't gained any ground on them.
Yeah, the Nuggets are honestly, and they're a team that everybody knows I haven't been very high on, but the Nuggets, they're starting to heat up a little bit. They're figuring out the Westbrook thing. And you just have 2 really high IQ players with Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic, and they've been figuring it out. All right, getting to the other side, this dude, man, he's just putting in the work. What do you want me to say? But we will have him. Just hold on. He's coming on, hopefully on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy with $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebate. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Based on 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us at Tom's Watch Bar for an exclusive Sacramento Kings watch party on Thursday, January 23rd versus Denver, complete with 360-degree viewing, surround sound, MCs, giveaways, and prizes. See you there.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
It is time. I told you, just hold on. Don't go anywhere. Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports, taking it to 2 p.m. And yeah, you heard it right. You hear that rod wave in the background, so you know what time it is. We are joined by the one, the only sharpshooter for your Sacramento Kings, Keegan Murray. Keegan, thank you for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
Keegan, I heard you were getting some extra work in, so, you know, I was telling all the listeners you're doing your thing. Let's talk about that. How do you feel right now from the beginning of the season compared to the present as far as shooting the ball and just defensively? Does it feel different as far as where you are in your path in the season right now?
I mean, I feel like I'm playing at a high level. Obviously, you know, like statistic-wise for the three-point shot or whatever isn't falling, but I mean, everything else I'm playing at a high level. So when it comes, and just continue to work at it.
When you talk about the rebounding, and you've been rebounding like a madman this season, when you talk about the rebounding, a lot of people say that you either got it or you don't. You have a knack for grabbing the basketball. The ball is just kind of a magnet. And then other people say you can improve. Would you say it's a combination of the two for you, or is it just something that you specifically focused on?
I haven't really focused on it that much. I've always been a good rebounder in college and things like that. So just trying to use my athleticism to the best of my ability, and I'm just trying to make plays and limit teams to one shot.
Talking to Keegan Murray, your star shooter for the Sacramento Kings. Keegan, 6-0 at home under Coach Doug Christie. Has it felt any different playing at home during this stretch? And has Doug told you guys anything different or anything unique about playing at home and protecting home court?
Just a point of emphasis. He's obviously been a Sacramento King before playing at Arco, and he knows how loud it can get, how fun it can be to play at home, and how troubling it can be for opposing teams to play there. So he knows that before he started coaching, we weren't great at home, and he's just righted the ship with just our intensity, our focus at home to win games, get the crowd into it, things like that.
Talking to Keegan Murray, shooter for the Sacramento Kings. Keegan, how does having Keon help you on the court? We were looking at some numbers last week and just breaking things down, but Keon and that length that he has, and sometimes you're on guards, sometimes you're on forwards. We've seen you on everybody. How does Keon on the court not only help you defensively, but maybe offensively as well?
Yeah, he's versatile defensively and offensively. Defensively, he's able to guard different guys, which puts a lot less pressure on me. And there's certain guys that I guard well, there's certain guys he guards well. So it's really just a feel thing for us. And then offensively, he's playing at a high level, shooting the ball really well. And things like that. So he's playing really well for us, and that's what we need from him.
Keegan, as far as everything that's gone on, we know that this season has had a lot of different peaks and valleys. How would you say that you guys have silenced the noise inside that locker room and come together to be on this crazy stretch that you're on?
Yeah, when you're 6 games below 500 earlier in the year, there's obviously talks that you got to have and things like that. So I feel like collectively we've been really good just sticking together as a team and just riding the ship. And we've done that really well, and we've turned our season around drastically in the last couple of weeks.
Last season, I remember, there were conversations about having the standings posted around the facility. You now sit in the 8th seed, which is outstanding compared to where the team was. Is there anything like that happening this season, or are the standings posted, or is everybody just not talking about it and focusing on game by game by game?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's posted or not, but we still have the board up.
Sure.
I don't know if there's anything written on it, but I feel like everyone knows where we're at. But then again, every single day we just focus on us, focus on the next game, and I think that's kind of been our key to success these last 11 games or so.
Talking to Keegan Murray. Keegan, for you to be that rookie on the team, almost like a freshman in high school or when you were in college, to now a couple years, and you see some dudes that are younger than you coming in. Talk about that transition to becoming a leader. I've heard about, team meetings where you've spoken out and things like that. Talk about the transition from being that you're still a young buck, but that transition of being the new kid on the block to now being more of a veteran and a leader on this team.
I feel like it comes naturally, especially when you're with like a certain group of guys, especially my first 3 years here. There hasn't been many movement in our top 5 or 6 guys. So I feel like that just comes with comfortability off the court, just being able to talk to them, speak my mind, things like that. So everyone on our team has a voice. Everyone's used their voice before. So I think that's something that really good teams have.
Just a couple more for you, Keegan. We're talking to Keegan Murray. Keegan, look, I'm from the Bay. I used to cover the Warriors, and a lot of people go back and forth on whether or not it's a rivalry with the Warriors. I know the Kings, you're going to say the right things, Keegan, because like I said, you're becoming a leader. The Warriors, they stink right now, Keegan. That's just what it is. How does it feel? Is there still juice going into the game tomorrow, taking on the Warriors, who you played about 18 times last season?
Yeah. There's always juice when we play them, just because we're so close and miles apart and things like that. And obviously the playoff series, the play-in, we see them each year in the postseason. So I feel like there's really good competition and things like that. I'm sure people call it a rivalry, but we know it's a tough game every single time we play them. It's always a good game, so we're excited to get after it tomorrow.
Keegan Murray, thank you so much for taking the time, especially after that extra work that you got in. But before we get you out of here, Keegan, my favorite Rod Wave song personally is Great Gatsby. We need to know, what is your favorite Rod Wave song?
My favorite one, probably Dark Conversations from Ghetto Gospel.
There you go. All right, Kyle, fire that up. We're going to get that on the other side. Keegan Murray, thank you so much for joining us, man. Good luck the rest of the season, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
That was Keegan Murray, your young and upcoming star sharpshooter for the Sacramento Kings. Great stuff. We're really appreciative to Keegan Murray and the Sacramento Kings whenever they can hook that up for us. And I would say this, man, the rebounding aspect I think is interesting because it's something that we've made a big deal of out here. But for Keegan to say it's just something, because, you go back and forth, it's just something that has happened naturally. Keegan, his career, he's at 5.5 rebounds a game. Now he's at 7.3. So whatever he's doing, he's got to keep doing it. He still acknowledged that he wants to get his 3-point percentage where it needs to be. But this is a dude who is just continuing to evolve. He had some things to say about Doug Christie, had some things to say about Keon Ellis and his versatility. That's what he talked about with Keon, because he's got that length and things like that. But Keegan Murray, to me, and he had that behind the back move, those little spurts of athleticism or elite athleticism that we'll see with him. There, Kyle, there are definitely situations where, or times where you just feel like, man, you are just scratching the surface with this kid, and you put the right pieces around him. You never know what could happen.
You never know what might happen. And my favorite part of that interview was you asking him about the leadership aspect, going from being the rookie on the beam team who's picking up the donuts and doing everything else to now third year on the team. I believe 5 or 6 of the players are younger than him on the roster right now. Yeah. And so him talking about leadership coming naturally as well. I thought that was a very insightful answer from Keegan. And it gets me very excited because I imagine he is part of their long-term future. He'll probably have a contract extension on the table this offseason. And if he signs it, I can't be more excited to have Keegan Murray sticking around with the Kings and being that leader in the locker room at times.
Yeah, and so, a lot of people did guess it correctly, so shout out to you. That was our super secret surprise segment. I had to bait Keegan a little bit there with the Warriors question. There's obviously still going to be juice there. I've been the one that continues to say that this is a rivalry. So, and with that being said, the Warriors just lost by 40, okay? Their season is on the brink. They got smacked by the Kings in their house, all right, not too long ago without De'Aaron Fox. Tomorrow, I would be very surprised, and maybe I'd be happily surprised if it's the Kings taking care of business, but I'd be really surprised if it's a blowout tomorrow. I really think it's going to be a tough one. Either way. I do.
Sacramento Kings are recently just bullying the Golden State Warriors.
No, that's true.
Way around it.
That's true.
The play-in game last year, going on their home floor and crushing them a few weeks ago. The Sacramento Kings have got the Warriors' number, shall I say?
Yeah, and somebody I think it was Amid Rock on the Sac Chat said, "Will Curry wear De'Aaron's shoes tomorrow?" I doubt it. I do not think Curry will be wearing De'Aaron's shoes tomorrow. 916 says, "I'm ready to run through a wall." After hearing Keegan Murray talk. Boom, our beloved monotone Murray, that's from the 906. Shout out to Keegan. So like we said, Keegan Murray, he went on to do some shooting after the practice. After practice ended, Keegan trying to get right for a big game. Yes, it's still a big game, even though the Warriors are kind of trash. It's still a big game here for the Kings as they take on the Golden State Warriors. Let's keep the conversation going on the other side. Have some calls that we want to get to as we talk Kings and we react to everything that Keegan had to say. We're also going to try to reconnect with our guy Taylor Wyman from the B-Ball Index. We had to push Taylor due to the super secret surprise segment. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and the regular season is over, but the high hand bonuses, those are not. $500 per primetime football game, whether it's weekend, Monday night, whatever it may be. And those bonuses available until the season ends, including the big game on February 9th. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Shop Big O Tires now through January 26th and get $80 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo brand tires. Installation purchase required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tires dealer for details.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
You've heard the saying, penny wise, pound foolish, right? It means you do something that will save you a little bit right now, just pennies, but that ends up costing you pounds in the end.
People put off tuning up their furnace because they don't want to take the time or spend the money to get it done.
But it only takes 90 minutes and costs just $87, which is just pennies compared to the huge problems and expenses that can rack up if you don't get your furnace tuned up.
You'll also save money on your energy bills, and your system will last longer.
So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Call Bell Brothers for a precision tune-up and professional cleaning today.
Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their #1 priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE, that's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, But we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Start the year strong at InShape Fitness. Play basketball, try yoga or Pilates, or work with their personal trainers to create a happy new you. And look for Sacktown Sports Team before the next Kings game to grab your free Kings InShape Rally Towel. Join today at InShape.com. We are in shape. You are ready.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray's favorite Rod Wave song right here. Banger. So I wonder if Keegan had this hitting while he was getting the extra working before the interview. Shout out Keegan Murray. You can go check that out. That's going to be up soon. Our secret surprise super segment with Keegan Murray.
Sorry, I had to cut that part out.
That's right, Keegan. Great stuff from Keegan Murray. We are approaching the 1 o'clock hour, and we will have Taylor Wyman, NBA analyst for the B-Ball Index, on to break down some deeper numbers. You know, Kyle was going to get him on, the numbers guy. So we're going to have
guy, yes.
That's right. We're going to have Taylor on in about 15 minutes as we, kind of move from some of the positivity. I wouldn't say moving from the positivity, but Kyle, you had a note on this, and, there's a little bit of back and forth to be had, but the Kevin Huerter conversation essentially has moved to, look, I don't know what the conversation is. I mean, he's, you ever heard of that term that some people do called silent quitting or quiet quitting, when they don't really want to work at a company anymore, so they just don't do anything and see how long it takes before the company says something to them. I'm not saying Kevin Huerter's doing that, but I'm calling this a silent sitting. How about that? Where he's just getting less and less minutes, and I don't know if we have to make a thing of it, right?
I think Dave and Jason said it best on the morning show, which was like, love Kevin Huerter the person, very fun times together with the Beam team and the All-Star and all the stuff like that. And at the same time, like, he just looks lost out there at times. And it's hard when you're a rhythm-based player. We have sound of Doug Christie kind of talking about it. And it's hard when you're such a rhythm-based player to get in a rhythm when you're just playing sporadic minutes and not getting consistent run. And the deflections were great earlier when it was Mike Brown on defense. You haven't seen as much of that recently, but I mean, it against the Wizards, which is the worst defensive rating team in the NBA, just nothing on the offensive side of the ball, which is really disappointing. And obviously the $18 million a year on the contract is making everything seem worse because the Kings are so avoidant of going into the luxury tax. Therefore, he has to be the player who's traded to get something in return.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, again, awesome dude. Has done so many great things in Sacramento. And we can also say, just especially in the Doug Christie version of the Kings, just not a part of the picture.
Yeah. And, the deflection conversation, that's, to me, that cannot be a main course, right? When you go to a restaurant, that cannot be that is not your steak or your potatoes, really. That is your corn, your broccoli. I mean, that's just a piece. If the number one thing we're talking about, and I used to joke about the Kevin Huerter rebounding thing, but we've moved from rebounding to deflections. That's not even a stat that is, I mean, we're going to talk to Taylor Wyman from B-Ball Index, but most people don't even look at deflection. So if that's the first thing to come out of your mouth, Kyle, that's a problem.
Yeah, and it's just grasping at straws because, like I said, you're getting just nothing on the offensive side of the ball. I do want to get to this Doug Christie sound talking about Kevin Huerter because it is insightful in kind of what he envisions right now, him being.
Kevin is important for us, and Kevin is going to make shots. It's as simple as that. He's going to get opportunity, and when he does, it's going to fall. And when it falls, it's going to help us in ways that we probably can't even see right now. But yeah, you want your bench to have production, and some nights it's going to be one player like Keon, and some nights it's going to be a couple players, meaning Keon defensively locks some people down, gets some steals, it hits free throws, and Kevin gets 5 threes. It's just, it's a timing thing. It's a confidence thing. It's all those. The basketball is just like that. It's a game of ebbs and flows. And for me, do you worry? I would probably worry about a lot of things, but they'll be just fine. I got the utmost confidence in Kevin, and I know that he's going to get in the gym and continue to stay in the gym the way that he does and shoot that thing until it gets right.
Well, again, there's an acknowledgement at the very end there. I mean, we just talked to Keegan Murray, who was getting his extra work in, and Keegan's percentage isn't where he'd like it to be. And Doug Christie literally said, I know he's going to be in that gym. So clearly it's a thing, right? And we've been hearing for 2 years now that Kevin Huerter the shots are going to fall. We've been hearing that, and they're not falling. So, and here's the kicker, right? Keegan Murray just on the show. Go check that out on YouTube and on the Sacktown Sports app. Keon Ellis can shoot threes, and Devin Carter, even though it might not always look like the typical jump shot, Devin Carter can hit threes, right? So it's not as if you have the Andre Roberson. It's not like it's Kevin Huerter and Andre Roberson, okay? You are only getting defense from this dude, but you just need Kevin Huerter because offensively you have nothing else. Those dudes can also shoot. I'm going to take it to baseball. If there is a guy, that's why these Aaron Judges of the world and Mike Trouts, that's why these dudes are freaks of nature, because they can do everything. 5-tool players, right? We can even talk about that in basketball with the different, I don't know how many tools that there would be, but you got defense, you got shooting, you got dribbling, you got pass, whatever it is. If I am somebody, that was always my nightmare, right? As a smaller outfielder, I'm not going to sit there and hit 10 home runs. So my job was to get on base and to steal bases. As a smaller outfielder, that's what I do. When somebody shows up at tryouts or when they sign the 6'2" dude that runs like me, but can also hit the ball out of the yard, 400 feet, whatever it is, that's a problem. Because now, Allen, we don't really need your speed is cool, but we got a guy that can do both. So you're Kevin Huerter. Hey, I'm here to shoot the basketball when it does fall, but defensively, I know I'm not it. Well, we just found ourselves a Keon Ellis, who is going to be the emerging player of the year. That's not a real award, but that's a newfound money award, whatever we want to call it, that Kyle and I are giving to Keon Ellis. Should be an award like emerging artists at the Billboards or Grammys. Well, we have this guy, and we have Devin Carter. So Doug Christie is doing the right thing in how he's talking about Kevin Huerter, but we got guys that can do both, and you're struggling to do the one thing. You're struggling to do the thing you're supposed to do. I'm a leadoff guy. If I can't get on base, and I also can't hit home runs, why are we playing? Why are we playing you?
And what you're describing isn't really a unique phenomenon in the NBA, right? We think all the time about NBA players having these 15-year, 16-year long careers, but the average length of an NBA career is 3.5 years, basically.
Right.
So for that group of guys like the Andre Robersons, like the Tony Snells, the people who play 9 to 10 years in the league, Kemba Walker just did it where he went overseas to wrap up his career playing for Barcelona or whatever. When you're
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
When you're one of these players, or Madrid, whichever team it was, when you're one of these players, it's like Kevin Huerter started his career playing for bad Atlanta Hawks teams, like rebuilding rookie Trae Young Atlanta Hawks teams. And then they got to the playoffs, and Kevin Huerter was an instrumental part of those runs. And then he gets to Sacramento, and he's an instrumental part of the Beam team. And since then, you've kind of seen the decline in productivity from Kevin to the point where now we're talking about, well, if he goes to Utah in a trade, or he goes to Washington, or he goes to Brooklyn in a trade, maybe he'll find his groove again. And you look at that up and down peak of his career, and Kevin Huerter's in year 8 in the NBA. It's like, yeah, it's not that anything's wrong with Kevin. It's that young players come into the league that can do different things. Your role evolves and changes.
Right.
And Kevin Huerter spent almost half of his NBA career in Sacramento now. I know it doesn't feel like that, but he's going on year 3, soon to be year 4 in Sacramento. And that's just kind of the career arc. He's going to have a 10-year, 11-year NBA career, and now he's going to help some team in a bench role once he figures out that role.
There's nothing wrong with that, right? It happens to the best of us. You get the call or you don't get the call, and then you get the call, hey, it's time to go to the bench, and then you get the call, hey, it's time to hang him up. Right? That's just the way of the world. Those calls happen later. That call happened to Vince Carter. Those calls happen for everyone. So Kevin Huerter had his time as a starter. That time has passed, in my opinion. And maybe I could be dead wrong. He's still young. He's only 26 years old. I'm looking here, Kyle, and it's crazy because if you were to guess, and I'm kind of giving it away here, but real quick, we're up against it. What do you think Kevin Huerter shot from three-point land last season? What percent?
I'm going to say 37.
36%. But it felt worse, is my point.
Yeah,
it probably felt worse.
Because what was he the year before?
40.
There you go.
He shot 38% his last season in Atlanta. He shot 40% his first season, Beam Team season. He shot 36% last season, and now he's at 30. And crazy enough, he's at 5.1 three-point attempts. I don't know where he's getting 5.1 three-point attempts a game, but he's shooting 30% on pretty decent volume. He shot that first Beam Team season, 6.8 three-point attempts a game at 40%. And, everybody understands that I'm really big on the mental aspect of things. And we had a caller chime in last week to say, or maybe it was a texter say, you know what? Maybe it's time to move on from Kevin Huerter just because of the mental side of things. And we'd be kidding ourselves if we didn't discuss that, because he knows that this conversation has been going on for 2 years. The Kevin Huerter thing happened, Harrison Barnes, they moved on. Kevin Huerter just kind of just hanging around, just waiting to walk the plank. That's how it feels. And I do think that obviously you don't give him away for nothing, but you're not getting, I think it would just help both sides at this point. All right. We got Taylor Wyman on the other side, NBA analyst for Basketball Index. Let's get a bit nerdy and talk some numbers. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 16. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more.
You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Something amazing is happening when power outages strike. Teams are powering through them. That's because CDW Solutions architects are building more resilient IT and electrical infrastructures with Schneider Electric. With EcoCare remote monitoring services and 24/7 support, your organization can do more than keep the lights on. Schneider Electric and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Schneider Electric.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
This 49er Injury Report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting their focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Delayed but never denied. Want to give a shout out to Taylor Wyman, NBA analyst for the B-Ball Index. Taylor and I connected on social media, and Taylor, as we mentioned, we talk a lot about the B-Ball Index on this show. Had to push some things because of Keegan Murray, who might come up in this conversation because of Keegan Murray hopping on the show right after practice. So Taylor, thank you so much for being flexible with us, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here. Kings basketball.
Gonna try to power through your connection there, Taylor. Let's keep let's keep rocking and rolling. Based on some of the advanced metrics that B-Ball Index kicks out, where does it feel like the Kings should be in the standings? Right now they're number 8, but where should they be in the standings?
It does feel like the Kings should be a little bit higher when you look at the advanced numbers. So normally what people look at when they start to get a little bit into the weeds is net rating. What we have, it's an acronym. It's called LeBron. It's our all-in-one metric. Basically what it does is it takes everything on the basketball court we can measure, it throws it all in a blender, and out comes one number. It is more predictive when it comes to looking at championships over the last decade, so it's a little bit better than net rating. They are better in that. And then normally when teams are better in LeBron, not as good in net rating, it's normally what we just call a luck factor, where the great example of this, the Kings defense has been okay when you just look at the normal numbers, but the advanced stuff says, hey, the shot quality they're allowing has actually been pretty good. And then you see early in the season they struggle. They obviously make a coaching change. They go on a big run. And, some of that, everyone's feeling better. Everyone's excited. It's a new environment. But some of that is just sort of a rubber band effect of, hey, they were playing pretty good defense most of the year. They weren't allowing really great shot quality. And then they go on this big winning streak. They, have a much better record now. And a lot of that is just, it's a long season. There's ups and downs, and the advanced analytics can kind of help us cut through that noise a little bit. And their D LeBron has been actually one of the better D LeBrons in the league.
Taylor, real quick, just from of our listeners up here, as talking to Taylor Wyman, NBA analyst for B-Ball Index, and maybe secretly this is for me as well. Can you explain the LeBron thing again? I know it pops up on the trade generator a lot. Can you explain the LeBron stat for those who might not know?
Yeah, no problem. This is a question we get all of the time. So basically what LeBron is some people, high up in NBA front offices said, hey, we want this really simple. We want one number that comes up with what a player's value is or a team's value is. So the way it works is it looks at all of your box score numbers and it weights them, assists are a little bit more valuable than a defensive rebound, takes all those box score numbers, again, throws them in a blender, and then it takes your plus minus, which, if you're on the court, your team's doing better, it's going to be positive. If it's doing worse, it's going to be negative. So it takes that plus minus number and does a bunch of advanced math to figure out when you're on the court, who are you playing with, who are you playing against, and it makes a bunch of adjustments. So again, throw that in the blender. So again, we're looking at box score numbers, we're looking at on-off. You combine those things, and then LeBron will spit out a list of the top players in the league. And then if you want to look at that at a team level, you just combine it, obviously, everyone on the team and how much they play.
Taylor, that sounds like basically a gumbo stat. Just throw everything in the pot and it'll tell you who's the best player. And I appreciate it. I know it comes up a lot in the trade generator stuff. And if you know anything about Sacramento and Cam Johnson, there are a bunch of conversations to be had there. Taylor, based on the metrics that you've talked about, whether it's LeBron or other metrics that you've worked with, what has impressed you the most about the Kings, or is there a specific player that has impressed you the most about the Kings?
Oh, Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis has been an absolute analytics darling since he's come onto the scene for the Kings. He is an elite 3-and-D player. We have a metric. It is called perimeter isolation defense. It looks at how well you defend on the perimeter. There's not a lot of public stats out there that do that. And he is 96% in this year. And then he is also 99th percentile in defensive playmaking, looks at your field, it looks at your functions. Again, and he's just been absolutely fantastic in those two. And you can look at the 3-point percentage. It's been really great this year. So the combination of the three salaries, he has really, really popped in the metrics.
Last but not least, talking to Taylor Wyman here. Taylor, real quick, as far as the analytics are concerned, are there any specific differences that you're seeing between Doug Christie's Kings and Mike Brown's Kings? Anything deeper, past the, like you said, the offensive rating and net rating, things like that?
It's a little early to tell. Obviously, Doug Christie hasn't been coaching, and obviously in the head long. Again, a little bit too early to tell, but I think the main thing that I talked about was just kind of bouncing back to the law of averages, where the defense has been pretty good this year. They haven't allowed really great shot quality, which is really important. Keegan Murray is looking like one of the better wing stoppers in the league. Keegan Murray, obviously, Keon Ellis, who I just talked about, obviously has been very good as well. So the combination of those two guys on the defensive end has been a real bright spot.
Taylor Wyman, thank you so much. NBA analyst for the B-Ball Index. Go check them out. Go throw Taylor a follow. Go throw the B-Ball Index a follow if you want to know ball. Taylor, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
That was Taylor Wyman, NBA analyst for the B-Ball Index. Some interesting stuff, Kyle. I know I wanted to get you a question, but the connection was a little rough. Kyle, you big on that LeBron stat?
It's not the one I go to all the time, but I love the LeBron stat because it does give you a giant number. But if you want, they also have O LeBron and D LeBron.
See, I know what is that?
Well, you know how
LeBron?
Yeah.
And why is it called LeBron? I think that's already annoying people.
It was when they created the stat. This was a bunch of years ago. When they created the stat, it was like they want an all-encompassing number and who's the best all-around player.
See, but that's
history.
Crazy. It should be the Jordan stat.
No, it's the LeBron stat.
It should be the either Magic or Jordan.
It's the LeBron stat, which since we're talking about LeBron, do you want to just play a fun guessing game right now? Where do you think Domantas Sabonis ranks in LeBron right now, which is this all-encompassing stat of everything that happens on the basketball court? Where do you think he ends up?
I mean, probably top 10, right? Is he 4?
Not quite 4, but he's 8th. He's 8th in the league.
In LeBron.
And the only people ahead of him are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, Jason Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Davis.
I mean, that's crazy. And what's Anthony Davis doing up there?
Anthony Davis is a really good basketball player. I don't know why you just keep dismissing Anthony Davis.
Because
in D LeBron, Anthony Davis right now would be among players who are getting a certain number of minutes. He would be top 10 in the league.
But you never, so D LeBron is the stat, but specific to defense.
Yes.
And O LeBron is the LeBron stat specific to offense.
Yes. And your O LeBron plus your D LeBron equals your total LeBron. You're trying to make it sound harder than it is.
I'm not sure that I am.
You know how net rating is just your offensive rating plus your defense?
Yeah, that's simple.
It's O LeBron plus D LeBron equals your LeBron. There's also LeBron War.
Okay,
There's
we're not. No, see, I gave you a little, I wanted to give you a little bit of leeway here.
You gave me an inch and I took a yard.
I gave you a little bit of leeway to get a little bit nerdy, but now LeBron's going to war. What's going on? Like, come on, man.
LeBron's going to war. It's crazy. Which, by the way, Anthony Davis may be at the top, but you know who else is better in the De'Aaron Fox would be top 20 in the LeBron stat. So just saying, if you want to make a case for De'Aaron Fox being all NBA, go to that LeBron.
I don't think they're doing that. That's the problem.
The problem is that they should. Got to get nerdy sometimes. Oh, I love this so much.
Well, it's over now, so I hope you enjoyed it.
LeBron, gosh.
LeBron, D LeBron, we LeBron, me. It sounds like Dr. Seuss. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Dr. Seuss. Hop on pop, 1 pop, 2 pop, 1 LeBron. Now somehow we found a way to get it back to 8 Mile. You know I always do. And the question is, did Kyle watch it over the weekend? We know that answer is no. Look, I told you that there is a player out there. And it ain't Cam Johnson. And it ain't Kyle Kuzma. This player, this brother, is not even 24 years old. And he can be had at a price tag that is not what Cam Johnson costs. I will tell you who this player is. that could change the trajectory of your Sacramento Kings on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from JiffyLube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
Wednesday night, Kings and Warriors. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports 1140. Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Great stuff from Taylor Wyman. Our Keegan Murray interview, if you missed it, has been posted. Check that out. YouTube, Sacktown Sports app. A couple clips going around social media. We are 15 minutes away. Don't think I forgot. We're 15 minutes away from y'all helping me out. And you talk about quiet quitting. Are we being iced out of this bachelor party, me and my 2 buddies? So that story is coming up in about 15 minutes. Do they not want to kick it with your boy? That's what we need to know. As I tease no longer about this player, as it has come out that the Bulls are interested in moving. This is a guy that we've talked about before, but I did a deep dive over the weekend, and I'm all in, okay? And like I said, it ain't John Collins, it ain't Kyle Kuzma, and it ain't Cam Johnson. His name is Patrick Williams. And Patrick Williams, I think there's a bit of untapped potential there. Dave would love him. Florida State's finest. And I did a deep dive on this kid. And I say kid, he's 23 years old. He's making $18 million. He is more than a willing defender. He's 6'7". He's shooting 36% from 3 on 4.7 attempts per game. And the Bulls are deciding. The whole thing was they didn't even know if they wanted to give him that extension. I think this was always the plan, to give him the extension and then see who else is available. The Bulls now making Patrick Williams available, and it is an obvious pick for me. An obvious pick for me. With all the names that we've talked about, if you're looking for a wing and you don't want to pay the Cam Johnson price, look, we'll get into the question marks as well. But for all of the conversations that we've had about making a move but not giving up the future, you're adding a 23-year-old that's 6'7", can shoot the 3 ball at 36%. So not only, and this is from Jay Cowley, who this dropped not too long ago, okay, from Joe Cowley, who covers the Bulls. The Bulls have made Patrick Williams available for trade. 23 years old. Okay. And I know there have been conversations about whether he is a bust, right? A lot of people thought he was going to be one of those dudes. Okay. I get it. He was a 4th pick in the draft, but sometimes you got to refresh. Okay. Send someone out as far as a fresh start. And we've been talking about that with some of the guys on the Kings. How about bringing in somebody? All right. He's good enough offensively that he can take away some of the burden that Keegan Murray has had. He goes 6'7", a power forward, 23 years old. We don't know what he's going to be. He's 23.
Oh, that's not always the case in the NBA.
Well, if he maybe not be a star, fine. But I'm in.
You know what? We've gone back and forth on a bunch of the names, and we had some fun with Obi Toppin last week. But you know what, Styles? I'm in too.
At 23,
he's only making $18 million a year. He'll probably be a bench option.
Right.
I like it. Now, the one thing that is putting up for pause is that if things do go bad for him, he's got 4 years after this left on his contract. So you might have him for many, many years if this thing doesn't go the way they want it to. So that's the risk you assume. But I like it. I like it as a bench option. Now, I understand the point that you could get that production from a draft pick that you would then have 7 years of cheaper team control on. I think Keegan Murray and Patrick Williams' contracts will look relatively similar when Keegan signs an extension this offseason. However, both former number 4 picks, by the way, in the draft.
Yes.
But I would like to see Patrick Williams on the Kings if all it's going to cost them is Kevin Huerter and some second-round picks.
So you're saying, right, and the question because at $18 million, you don't have to move Trey Lyles.
No, it would be Kevin Huerter and picks, but I would assume the reason Chicago is hesitant to I assume Chicago re-signed him because he was a restricted free agent and they didn't want to lose him for nothing. And now they're looking at it having some level of buyer's remorse at $18 million a year for 5 years, which was the contract that he signed. So there's obviously reasons why they want to move off of him, especially when they're grasping at straws for any young player that can give them production. But I would be fine with it because the Kings wouldn't have to give up that much to make it happen. And it's, like you said, a high upside potential move if you can have that extra lengthy wing player that could theoretically play defense.
And look, I'm not saying, this guy is the question is how much can he help you? I think ultimately the question is how much can he help you this season, right? If you're moving him and if it's just for Kevin Huerter, I think there's no question. I'm looking here, Kyle. Okay. Trey Lyles. And I know numbers don't tell the whole story. Trey Lyles in 32 games is averaging 6.8 points. Okay, Trey Lyles does go 6'9", and we know he plays some backup center. Trey Lyles, 6.8 points a game at 4.8 rebounds, 39% from the field, 34% from three. And how many threes is he taking a game? Trey Lyles is taking 4.1 threes a game, and he's shooting 34%. Patrick Williams, 9.4 points per game, 3.9 rebounds per game, 2.2 assists, so a little bit less rebounding, more playmaking, 38% from the field, 36% from three. And like I said, he is taking 4.7 attempts per game. So at the very least, it's I get it. You can move off of Trey Lyles, but you're still going to be looking for a wing. Even if Trey Lyles, you don't re-sign, you're either going to re-sign Trey Lyles, and he's going to be Trey Lyles, right? Or you move on from him, and you're still looking for a wing.
Yeah, or you sign somebody in free agency.
If you are in the camp of not giving up the future, I think this is the route that you should look to go.
And those numbers might be all well and good, but what is his LeBron?
Okay.
That's all I want to know.
I told you we're not doing this anymore.
Fine. Which, just for the record, Trey Lyles, just because I have the numbers up because we were talking to the guy, Trey Lyles actually has a better wins above replacement than Patrick Williams. So Trey Lyles right now is giving better production than Patrick Williams, which is not
the
great.
basic. No, but I just read the numbers. I read the traditional numbers, not your advanced numbers.
Yeah, but Patrick Williams is playing more than Trey Lyles.
Todd on the Sack Chat is convinced that Trey Lyles is better. He doesn't want to make the move. Says Lyles is way better. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've watched as much Patrick Williams film as I have on Trey Lyles.
The VORP would agree with Todd, though. The VORP and the LeBron rating agree.
Todd also says Herter's expiring contract is going to get something better than Patrick Williams. Well, then you're keeping him. So, and that you're probably not wrong. So, but to me, that's fine, Todd. But now you're not making a move this season, is what you're saying.
Yes. And that could totally happen. Again, it's not a guarantee that the Kings are going to make a move in the next however many 15 days or whatever it is. And if that's the case, like I said before, Kevin Huerter becomes tradable to more teams this offseason because of the expiring contract aspect of it.
We'll see what happens. All right. We have the story, the Allen Stiles Bachelor story on the other side. Please let me know. Am I getting iced out of this situation? And Kyle tells us why the Detroit Lions are the Sacramento Kings of the NFL. Where have I heard this from before? Oh, Carmichael Dave. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Wednesday night, Kings and Warriors. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip off at 7. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Hey, Sacramento Kings fans, join us at Tom's Watch Bar for an exclusive Sacramento Kings watch party on Thursday, January 23rd versus Denver. Complete with 360-degree viewings, surround sound, MCs, giveaways, and prizes. See you there.
Start the year strong at InShape Fitness. Play basketball, try yoga or Pilates, or work with their personal trainers to create a happy new you. And look for Sacktown Sports Team before the next Kings game to grab your free Kings InShape Rally Towel. Join today at InShape.com. We are in shape. You are ready.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center this week. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Lock in your seats today at monsterjam.com.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their number one priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE, it's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, but we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Talking Patrick Williams and other new names. Y'all know I'm not tired of Cam Johnson. I'm tired of the conversations. I'm tired of Kyle Kuzma. 916 says Williams has more points, more threes, more assists, better free throw percentage, more steals and blocks on the year. Only 2 more games played than Trey Lyles. Williams would flourish here. Go get him. That's from the 916. But the O LeBron, D LeBron, C LeBron, and G LeBron may not exactly be there. Okay, Kyle, we're going to spend some time, a little story time with Allen Stiles. We'll make this a segment at some point. Story time with Allen Stiles.
Well, I don't have any music for that, but we have the old story time with Christopher Lott intro we can use.
Nah, I don't want to do that.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Christopher Lott gives you the stories
now
that
people are confused.
need to hear. Or maybe not. Story time.
With Allen Stiles.
This is aggressive. This is very aggressive. Okay, so here's the situation here. I can't get over how aggressive this is. Here's the situation. So,
I'll just edit this to say your name next.
No, I don't want this. So, can you turn this off? I can't even think. So, this is okay. So, basically, enough. So, basically, there's a situation, buddy of mine. I don't know about. When you say close friend, I know it's just all relative, but he was at my wedding. He went to my bachelor party. We've known each other for probably over 10 years. And the reason I struggle to say close is because there's a level to this. As you get older, there are guys that are, your boys. There's your tier 1 boys. There's your tier 2 boys. And there's your tier 3 boys, right? So I'm not one of his tier 1 boys, and he's not one of my tier 1 boys. I think that's fair. He's one of these guys who still lives where he grew up. So he has a lot of high school friends from high school, friends from the area. So me and 2 other of his buddies, right, that we know we're at best tier 2, we got the invite to go to his bachelor party. Okay, everything is all fine and good. And he gives us the information. We're going to, great. Cool. 2 of the buddies, they don't live in California. They live on the East Coast. So, I got a kid, my other buddy got a kid, and the other guy doesn't, but he's recently married. So you need to plan this stuff out. Okay. So we get a text from who we would assume is the best man. And the first thing was, we didn't really know who this guy was. And we've known the Bachelor for a long time, but this guy, we get a text and, not one of the names that you hear typically. And it's not really sure what's going on there. He asks us from, I think, February to April, or it was a long time, right? It was either February to April or March to April. Hey, give me dates that don't work for you. Okay. So I did. I really didn't know what dates those would be because there's a lot of stuff that can happen. So I did my best to send that over to him. So that was, I think, in November. Radio silence the rest of November. Radio silence the rest of December. And to this day, we haven't heard anything, right? We have not heard anything back. So my buddy hit me up, another tier 2 buddy, maybe tier 3, who knows? And he says, have you heard anything? And I go, no, because I'm in California. No, I haven't heard anything. I don't, never talked to this guy really. And long story short, we're trying to figure out, number one, if we are getting iced out of the bachelor party, if they're purposely going to say dates that we can't make it. And number two, whether or not the bachelor knows any of this is going on. Should we tell the bachelor or ask the bachelor? Because we have a group chat with him separately. Should we ask him, hey, what's the deal here? One of my buddies feels like we shouldn't because we don't want to look desperate. This guy should be reaching out to us. And whether or not does the bachelor know and he doesn't really mind it? Are they just trying to do a high school thing and keep it with all the tier 1 buddies? So I'm the type of person, I want to just send a text and say, yo, what's up? If you want me to go, I kind of need to know what's going on. We're almost in February here. We have to make my buddies are flying from cross country. We have to buy these flights and he's trying to go, make it more of a golf trip. It ain't Vegas and where he wants to go. It's in the US, but it's not an easy thing. What the hell is going on? So we're trying to figure out, are we getting quiet quitted from the bachelor party?
But what's so weird about that is when the best man or whoever is organizing it sends you the message, it comes with the insinuation that he wants you at the bachelor party, right?
Yes, the bachelor does.
Yeah.
But so that I don't believe that the bachelor has a part of this. Personally, I don't think he knows anything that's going on. I think he just believes it's all being handled.
Okay.
And I think it might be a situation where I really hope they're not listening. I really hope, I feel like it's a situation where maybe the best man is thinking, I don't really want these random dudes here. And there's no way, here's the issue, Kyle. There's no way that this guy has not had conversations with anybody or my buddy picked a terrible planner. There's no way January 21st, between February and April, this dude has not had any conversations with anybody about the bachelor party, which means he's having conversations with his closer friends from the tier 1 boy group without us. That's the main issue.
And you've never had any interaction with this guy before?
Not that I can recall.
Okay.
So I think what we're assuming is going to happen is he's going to hit us up and say, here's the weekend, here's how much it is, let me know in 2 days, whatever it is, can you go or not? And then my buddies that are back east are going to say, well, we don't have time. You know what I mean? There's not going to be enough time to plan this stuff. And even myself, dude, I can't go just willy-nilly. It's almost February now.
It's almost February, and if it's going to happen in February, then what are we doing here? Because the fact that it's both of you makes me feel better on your behalf, that like it's not just a you thing for some reason.
Right.
If it ends up, I don't know. I guess my follow-up question is this going to be one of those things where if your buddy who's getting married, the bachelor, hits you up and is like, why aren't you here?
Right.
Or why didn't you show up a week before?
Yes.
It's going to be one of those things where you're going to be quick to throw the other guy under the bus.
And
right?
I will. And I will. Here are the two options here. Are we getting iced out, or is this guy just a terrible planner? And as men, there are some terrible planners out there. So both are possible. The good in me wants to believe that he's a terrible planner, but there's a part of me that feels like we're getting iced out.
Yeah, it's the anxiety of not knowing, right? It's the I don't know what's happening here, therefore anything could be happening, which I don't think is the case. But have you and your bachelor friend ever discussed his bachelor party like recently at all, or this is just the only correspondence has been
we did early on when he first got engaged and things like that, but not recently.
Okay, so there you go. When at least it's been brought up. It's not like this was just completely out of the blue.
I don't think it's on him. And I had to, because have you gone to a bachelor party before?
I'm 23 years old. No, I have not.
Well, you didn't have to. Some people start early. Basically, with bachelor parties, a lot of times it's a community, because you're dealing with so many dudes that you need to know, hey, like this guy sends out this initial message, but it's, hey, here's a Airbnb. Are you guys think about this? Or, hey, do you want to do that? It's not so much. It's not one guy, because it can't be. You have to collaborate. So I think there's collaborating going on without us. That's the problem.
That would be a problem if you can confirm it. I am stuck on the whether you ask your bachelor friend or not. Like, just, hey, is this happening? Are we involved? Because it sounds like you would like to be there, but your heart's not going to be crushed if you're not there.
Well, because it doesn't feel like right. If we find out that this thing is already somewhat planned, right, and now it's, oh yeah, here you go, here's the information, then I feel like, well, I'm not going to spend my damn money to come out there if I'm just an afterthought.
Yeah, and you already, I think, established it with the tier 2 friends thing. It's like if they just want to do a thing with all their high school friends,
just do that.
Then it sounds like you would be okay with that.
I would.
You're still going to attend the wedding. You're still going to be, present.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not invited, it's not like you're going to be crushed. You just don't want to be left in purgatory of not knowing.
When I don't want him coming down my road if he doesn't know and saying, well, I went to your bachelor party. Why didn't you come to mine? Well, brother, I found out with a month. That's not enough. I got plans, man. I got stuff to do.
You got a child.
I got to take off work. So thanks, Kyle. And thanks to everybody. The text line is saying I'm getting iced out. That's messed up. I hope that's not the case. All right. Who's never getting iced out? That is one Whitey Gleason. He joins us on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Wednesday night, Kings and Warriors. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports 1140.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Flex Premium Athleisure is softness that plays hard. From the couch to the gym to the office and beyond, Flex gives you premium comfort and style that keeps up with anything without costing everything. Whether you're chasing the ball or chasing the gigs, life's a workout. Flex with it. Exclusively at Kohl's. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Hey, it's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and the regular season is over, but the high hand bonuses, those are not. $500 per primetime football game, whether it's weekend, Monday night, whatever it may be. And those bonuses available until the season ends, including the big game on February 9th. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Happy New Year! Coach Christie here letting you know it's never been easier to drive into the new year in a new Kia. Take advantage of special low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit right now at Folsom Lake Kia.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
I work nights at Jack in the Box.
That's Whitey Gleason serenading your ears.
And fries and shakes.
What is this?
The parody song he's doing the parody version. This is a song called Man in the Box by Alice in Chains, and he's doing a parody song of Jack in the Box.
Yeah. Wow. How you doing, Whitey?
Good. Like this song. Like Alice in Chains.
Okay. Yes.
How are you?
Good. Like Alice Unchained. Pretty good, huh?
No, didn't get it at all. I just kind of was being polite. It didn't even make sense to me.
All right. Well, I did want to ask you this. We were talking about, I don't know how much time you and Drapes have spent on this player. We spent some time in the 1 o'clock hour on Patrick Williams. And 23 years old, clearly didn't work out in Chicago. I really liked him coming out of Florida State, kind of a 3-and-D guy. 36% from the 3-point range. He's taken about 4 a game. I know he's not a perfect player, and I'm not saying he's going to come out here and be a star, but a lot of people are starting to hop off the Cam Johnson train just because of
why
just the weird. I don't want to say weirdness, but okay, there's a price tag. Neither side is budging. We're basically waiting to see will the Nets budge before the trade deadline is over, so they don't find themselves in a Kyle Kuzma situation, which is not a great one. It looks like the Wizards are kind of stuck with Kyle Kuzma because of how poorly he's been playing this season. But does Patrick Williams interest you at all?
No, not really. Okay. No, like you said, he's shooting the 3-ball well. I'm curious as to why the Bulls would be ready to move off of him. There's other guys on my list way ahead of him.
Okay.
It looks like, Evan Sidery reported this. I know he's been on your show, right? Has he been on your show?
Yeah.
And I agree with this. This is the way it looks to me, for what that's worth, is that Cam Johnson is plan A for the Kings and John Collins is plan B.
That's right. And if they can figure out one of them, good to go. And there is I know some people want to discuss a world where Trey Lyles is still here, but for those guys in particular, I think Trey would have to go. For Patrick Williams, I don't think he would have to.
He wouldn't have to go in the Collins deal, but he would have to go if the Kings want to stay under the luxury tax.
There you go.
And I don't know how that pencils out in the Cam deal.
The All-Star conversation voting is closed. It's pretty insane what Domantas Sabonis has been doing, and the fact that it's even he's going to get in, right? I'm looking at these numbers. This is insanity.
You can't look. You can look at it that way. I don't mean to say you can't do that, but there's other considerations. Just, hey, he's having a really good year. He's got to be in. Yes, that's true. But he plays center. But Houston has to have somebody in there, right? Because of the year they're having.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who is going to go in with Houston? Şengün going to get in? All that stuff. Yeah. There's reason to believe there's a good chance he's going to get snubbed again. Let's hope not.
I was listening to the Drive Guys last week.
Good for you.
And you guys were having a conversation about who, quote unquote, and I'm air quoting if you're in the car, needs to be at the All-Star. And Jay mentioned Ja Morant, right? You guys were talking about the grandfathered in names, and Jay mentioned Ja Morant. And I'm thinking, at this point, Ja Morant and what he brings to the table, right? Ja Morant is a dunker. He ain't in the dunk contest. They don't do that anymore. It's a rookie and G League thing. He's not in the dunk contest. And they're doing 3-on-3. It's not going to be some intense game like how Russell Westbrook played. Those are the two things that Ja brings to the table for me. Dunking and give me that chip on the shoulder and talk trash and things like that. If neither of those things are happening, I don't see why Ja Morant, quote unquote, has to be there. Are we still to the point where it matters that much to the NBA that on Saturday night when they pan to the crowd that Ja Morant is in the crowd sitting next to whoever it is? Half the time people are there that aren't even in the All-Star game.
The whole thing about this conversation is you chase your tail around and around because there's no rules for any of the All-Star voting that says voting should be based on this. So like in baseball, I don't even know if this is true, but I remember one year there was a guy, Art Howe was hitting 330 or something. People said, he's not on the All-Star team. And Whitey Herzog says, at the end of the year, he's going to be hitting 281. And sure enough,
right.
It's like, should a guy, because he's having a good half year, be an All-Star? Well, maybe he's having a really good year. But this guy's an all-time great player. Well, he should be an All-Star. So it's like, what rules do we even use? It's just, it gives me an ice cream headache because it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, I don't even know what set of criteria we're using.
Yeah.
What makes a guy an all-star?
Well, this
should be an all-star because you're having a really good half year. Does that make you an all-star? I say no.
Well, maybe where this thing is heading and where it's already headed is that all-star is honestly just separate. All-star is a marketing event, essentially.
Yes, it is.
Right. And all NBA is where things that actually matter, when it pertains to contracts and things like that, those conversations happen. And speaking of, we did have a conversation about De'Aaron Fox, 13 assists last game. What was it, 12 and 13? And, obviously the playmaking is there. It almost seemed like he was not that he was hunting assists, but he, when you have a game against a lesser opponent, if you've ever coached or whatever, and this is even in pickup, I'm going to work on my right hand today, right? Or I'm going to work on my offhand. It felt like De'Aaron said, I'm going to work on my playmaking today. 13 assists, Whitey. He's at 24 points per game. And what was it, Kyle? 5-6 assists per game under Doug Christie. He's at 26 points per game, or was at 26 points per game under Mike Brown. But if you took out that ridiculous weekend where the team wasn't whole, he was at 24. And it might be a little bit early, but we were essentially having the conversation about whether or not it is time to put to bed the all NBA conversation for De'Aaron Fox. I mean, he'd have to go on a heater, right? Maybe not yet. It's not time to put it to bed yet, but just as far as, hey, well, De'Aaron's not going to leave if he can get $345 million here, but if he can't, then this team better keep winning, which they are doing now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not putting it to bed yet, but the way these guys are operating right now, where it's great basketball, but the De'Aaron's usage, I don't know that he's going to be able to get there.
Okay, as far as putting it to bed, I would say, like, if I'm the parent, and that notion is the kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the clock. I'm letting the kid watch TV a while longer. I'm not even saying brush your teeth yet.
Really?
Yeah. I don't even say, hey, you better finish up that show. You got to wash up pretty soon. I'm not even.
You're not even saying that.
I'm not even giving the warning, Alan.
Wow.
Because this team's playing so well. If this team continues to play well in the second half of the season, then those chances are going to go up. If he just keeps playing the way he is,
Sure.
he plays better, and the team continues to win like this.
Yeah.
I like his chances.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No bedtime yet.
Not yet.
No, well, it all depends. I'm saying.
Tomorrow's not even a school day.
Well, that was on Sunday, yes.
Yeah.
I was saying 24 points per game. Let's say if he stays at that. If he stays at his current numbers under Doug Christie and they get to a six seed, is there a world where him and Domantas Sabonis, who always seems to just sneak into the third, Domantas should be second team, right? But last season he sneaks in as third team. And granted, they were a 9 seed.
2 years in a row, third team.
Do we see the Kings getting 2 guys in as a 6 seed?
Only
that was
if
more so.
Yeah, they just have to play really well.
Yeah.
Like they're playing. It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're saying, get to bed, right?
No, I'm not.
Get in your bed.
I'm definitely saying go brush your teeth. I'm definitely saying go brush your teeth for sure.
I don't want any back talk.
And go check. Yeah,
Wow.
get into your pajamas, brush your teeth.
It's no fun when Alan babysits.
No, it probably isn't.
Mr. Stiles, pardon me.
Did you catch any of our Keegan Murray interview?
I did. Yeah. Way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He actually, he wasn't very demonstrative, but he answered your questions from what I heard.
As opposed to,
just going, yeah, we're playing hard.
Right. And no, and shout out
He
to
made an
Keegan
effort,
Murray.
in my opinion.
Well, and on top of that, he was putting in extra work after practice. So shout out again to Keegan Murray. Yeah, the rebounding I thought was really interesting. He's up almost 2 rebounds per game this season, but he said didn't really work on anything specifically. How have you always looked at rebounding? Because you got the Kevin Loves, the Tristan Thompsons, the Kevon Looney's, where it feels like it's Domantas Sabonis. It's a skill, but some of it you're just quote unquote born with. And I tried to ask him, is there something there? And did you work on anything? He said no.
2 things that stand out to me as far as rebounding from what I've heard. I remember Rodman used to have this incredible knack for knowing where the ball was going before it even got to the rim, And then the other thing is Harold Presley told me one time, and I don't know if Keegan's this guy, this might be Domas on this team, but he said, you got to have somebody who's like, that's what they do. They just have that mindset. I'm going to get the ball.
Yeah.
So I think all great rebounders have that mindset to a degree. Because, rebounding, when a shot goes up, Alan, you have to assume you have to assume it's not going in.
Right.
If you wait to see if it goes in or not to decide what I'll box out, you've already lost.
Right.
So a lot of it is that mentality of I'm getting the ball.
Well, as a shooter, you got to assume it's going in. Because I shoot.
Did you ever get a rebound?
Did I what?
5'4".
Okay. All right. Cut that. Dump that. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Drive Guys coming up next. And I know they got a fully loaded show. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to listen. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack-chatters. Thank you to Keegan Murray for hopping on the line. Appreciate that. Thank you to Taylor Wyman of the B-Ball Index. Thank you to Kyle, as always. We will talk to you tomorrow. But until then, secure the bag like the B.
All right.
Gotta go. The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Online, easy way to get life